Did you go outside today? Did you notice that the air maybe felt a little bit better? Maybe energized you a little bit more? It just felt a little lighter. Well, that's because Wes Watson, the gadoosh god, is no longer breathing any of that free air, and it's looking like this might be curtains for his time outside of a prison cell. Because boy, howdy, I gotta tell you, this guy is addicted to criminal charges. He collects them like Pokemon cards. It's a pathetic existence, and I don't want to just regurgitate the lore, because I've covered Wes Watson a lot on this channel, but he is one of the more entertainingly pathetic alpha male gurus out there. And now Wesley's facing even more charges on top of the previous charges from the assault case a few months back that I covered. And it looks like he's going to be going home. It looks like he's going to be going back to hooping that paperwork. If you don't know the breakdown, Wes Watson is actually a mutant. He's an X-Men. He studied at Charles Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. His mutation is his asshole's ability to stretch to unnatural lengths. He used to preach about just how adept he was at sticking papers up his butt. Even told a compelling, riveting story about how the other inmates didn't even recognize him by his face, but only by his asshole, because he was always showing off his chocolate starfish, apparently. Honestly, no one's happier about Wes Watson going to jail than Wes Watson. I bet he's got the biggest smile on his face right now, sitting behind bars, fingers crossed, praying that he gets life, so that way he can return to paradise here. And honestly, that's the best for everyone. That's where he belongs, and the rest of society is safest with him there, and I bet he will be much happier. They did him a nice kindness here. They listed him at 6 feet. He's not 6 feet. The top comment kind of goes crazy. He accepted the full sentence in exchange for being listed at 6 feet. I think he just missed prison, because he is currently still out on bond, I'm pretty sure. So he picked up these 5 additional charges, assuming all of this is true. I still need to watch this video covering it, while on bond for other charges. This guy actually just wants to go home. He said, I don't like it out of jail. It's scary. People are mean to me. Doesn't he have a micro? Yeah, they call him Shrimp Dick. In one of those videos he made with his ex-girlfriend, she was like going upstairs naked, and he was naked following her, but the goober fucking had his camera pointed at the glass on the stairs so you could see his wiener, and it barely peeked over his ball sack. Yeah, he's got Nerf dart wiener. Yeah. I know we're like 4 minutes into this video and I still haven't gotten to those charges, but that's because when you talk about Wesley Watson, it is irresistible to just talk about everything Wes Watson related, because all of it is, it's unfathomably pathetic. Like, it is just, you can't help but just vomit out all the Wes lore. He is just that much of a clown. Truly irresistible. The only thing more irresistible is good hygiene. All of you should be practicing good hygiene, so make sure when you take a shower you're using Cheeky soap. It's the best soap in the universe. Go to usecheeky.com right now. Get yourself some of the best soap out there.
A woman, the same one that he proposed to just the other day. He beat her down. He held her captive. So you guys remember just the other day, I showed you Peggy putting a ring on this girl like an asshole, only knowing the girl for only a month, right? Well, that same girl that he got down on his knees and put the ring on is the same girl just a couple days later may be the one to put Peggy in prison for a really long time when I tell you this story.
Yeah, it's not an exaggeration either. The new information here is extremely heavy. What he's done is completely unforgivable, and hopefully justice will prevail. I think this should be a life sentence for Wes Watson. We're going to dive in here. John Bravo went through the specifics of the case. There are 5 felony charges that he is now facing, in addition to everything that is still ongoing from the assault, and they are horrifying.
Peggy Watson, that woman beating piece of shit, was charged with 5 felonies in the state of Florida for beating the shit out of a girl like the coward we all know he is. And the next day, he was in court thinking he's going to get out on bail, $115,000, right? Well, what happened was, the piece of shit, I think he paid it, thinking he's going to get out. But then, the judge from the other case with the monster revoked his bail. So I'm hoping that asshole wasted his money and he's still sitting there.
Now, I know I talk about Wes Watson like he's some harmless bozo loser. And he is a bozo loser, but he's far from harmless, actually. He is genuinely just an evil piece of shit. He is a woman beater. He is just an unhinged lunatic. So, John Bravo is covering the Wes Watson case, the ongoing charges right now. So, he's reporting that Wes Watson maybe tried to pay the $115K to get out on bail, but the judge from the previous case with the assault came in and revoked the bail. So there's a chance he is still just sitting in jail at the moment, which would definitely be for the best.
The defendant confronted her about her whereabouts as she had not disclosed. She had gone to the game with her friend. The defendant, which is Peggy, began yelling at the victim, explaining he paid for her boob job, that she was disrespectful for having her boobs out, and that those are my boobs, also accusing her of cheating on him.
So this is where it all started in this new case. A woman that he's been seeing went to a basketball game without Wes's permission. He didn't know she was going to a basketball game with her friend, and she wore a top that showed too much cleavage for Wes Watson's liking. So he then blew a gasket, had a fucking conniption saying, like, I paid for those boobs. Apparently he had, like, paid for her to get a boob job. And he's like, those are my boobs. You're showing my melons. Those are my honkers. This is disrespectful. So he starts fucking freaking out and going ballistic about it. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Wes Watson, this is actually a very common thing. This is his mentality. The women around him, he tries to literally buy them, so he gets them expensive gifts, and when he does that, he believes it's a transactional exchange, and now he tries to claim ownership of the women. He is a genuine piece of shit. He buys them things and then says that they're his property now, basically. The woman is. It's scary.
The defendant began to rattle and shake her by grabbing both of her arms forcefully. He continued to push, grab her by her hair, and slam her on the floor. The defendant then dragged the victim by her hair on the floor and later pinned her up against the kitchen table. He pushed and grabbed, manhandling the victim's face, causing a scratch to the victim's right cheek. The victim stated the defendant forcefully pinned her back against the table, causing her back to bend and hurt. The defendant began yelling at the victim, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you and your whole family. He continued to push the victim back down on the floor with force, picked her back up, and forcefully against her will sat the victim down in a chair. While holding a plate, the defendant threatened to break the plate on top of her head, told her he would grab a bottle and slash it across her face, break it on her head, and then told her he would kick her face in.
I'm skipping around a little bit here because it is pretty hard to listen to. It is disturbing. The violence is brutal. And it's not the first time Wes has had allegations like this.
The third witness was the defendant's security guard, who told the victim to take accountability for her actions of wearing a shirt which exposed her breasts. So this asshole security guard is sitting there and telling her she shouldn't be going out to a basketball game showing her tits. What kind of world is this? When I have a girl and I'm with her, I want her to look as sexy as she can, so people look at me and be like, that's a lucky What's wrong with these assholes?
Wes Watson is a pile of dog shit that surrounds itself with flies. Everyone that associates with this guy and everyone he keeps in his circle is just as much of a scumbag as he is. So the security guard is now blaming her for Wes Watson brutalizing her. He's saying, well, you should have thought about what you were wearing to that basketball game. You brought this on yourself. What a fucking deplorable freak. This security guard here, by the way. How many times do you think he showed Wes Watson his asshole? Maybe that's part of the initiation process, and now he feels like a strong brotherhood connection to Wes, that he has to suck his small cock at every opportunity. It's unbelievable to me how anyone could witness what happened here. There are witnesses, he is one of them, and then say, well, Wes was in the right. You did wear clothing that Wes didn't really deem appropriate. So, did you think about how this is actually on you?
The defendant did not allow the victim to utilize her cell phone or to call anyone. The victim was forced by the defendant to tell her cousin she got the scratch on her cheek from derma peeling. Further, the defendant told her if the police were to have arrived at the residence, she needed to tell police she slipped on the rug at the residence. Throughout the altercation, the victim stated the defendant held her hostage and would not let her leave. The victim tried to leave the residence, but the defendant feared she would contact police, and due to being on parole, he could not allow it. The defendant continued to verbally abuse and yell at her. The defendant further stated, if I go to jail, something bad is going to happen to you, all your friends, and your family. The defendant further implied he would have girls jump the victim in order to ruin her reputation. The defendant further told the security guard, make sure she doesn't run, and had him stand by the door in an effort to keep the victim from leaving the residence.
This is called false imprisonment. This is another charge that he's facing as a result of this. As mentioned by John Bravo at the beginning, he is facing 5 new charges. These are very serious charges, and as you're hearing from this case here, extremely brutal ones. This is an absolute menace. Like, this is someone who should not be back into society at any point. Again, all of this is while he still has that assault case that's going on, which, in case you don't remember, was also extremely brutal. He ran over and soccer kicked a man who was already on his hands and knees hunched over. That could have killed him. And I believe his intent was to kill him right then and there. I bet he thought he was going to go over there with like a Mortal Kombat fatality, like he's kicking a fucking field goal on this guy's skull. Luckily, the guy didn't die, but I think it's pretty clear that Wes Watson has no problem with the idea of killing someone. And now he is beating this woman and threatening to kill her, and is now even having his security guard make sure she stays locked up here so that way she can't contact anyone. So that way he doesn't get in trouble while on parole. This is a complete madman who is out of control.
So that asshole security guard and Jose both took part in this shit. They should be getting charged too, those pieces of shit.
I completely agree. They should also be facing some charges, and I hope they're in the process of cooking that up. They're not just complicit in it. From what I'm gathering here, they were enthusiastic participants in all of this. Again, the security guard is even blaming the woman here for everything that's unfolding, so I bet that vile rat was jumping up and down celebrating when Wes gave him the task of making sure she stays locked up in there. I bet he was just sitting up there, giddy, just waiting for Wes to get home to give him a little kiss on the forehead, a little peck right there. A little good boy from Wes and a pat on his tush. Like these guys should also be facing charges.
While the victim was seated in a chair, he lifted the chair with such force, he dropped the victim on the floor. The incident of physical abuse lasted approximately 40 minutes, but led into the following day. 2 days of this hell? During this time, the victim was scared and afraid of the defendant. She believed he was capable of killing her, and then himself, as he said such to her. The victim stated the defendant does have firearms in the residence, but was unsure how many. And then they show here, wow, so it's listing all the different injuries she had. And like I said, I seen the ones on her face, but I didn't see all this shit. This mother, he's a monster. Look at this shit.
Wes Watson is a monster. He always has been. And yes, I make fun of him a lot, and I clown on him a lot. I call him the Gadoosh God because this guy was addicted to reading every single DM anyone ever sent him. He would get trolled all the time. The word Gadoosh comes from a comment on Reddit that he was like really honing in on, saying like, they say I'm getting gadooshed. Ha! Me? Gadooshed? I think not. Like, I make fun of him for all of these things because it is like entertainingly embarrassing for this guy. But it is important to remember he is genuinely an evil worm, and he deserves to be in jail. He has done heinous shit. He beats women. He attacks anyone. He is unhinged, and he needs to be in jail. It lists numerous injuries that she suffered at the hands of Wes Watson's abuse. He beat her violently and then trapped her. He didn't want anyone to see any of her bruises or her cuts or anything, so then falsely imprisoned her in the residence and didn't allow her to contact anyone. There's also a section in here about how he would actually even impersonate her on her devices, saying like, oh, I'm okay, I'm just going to sleep, that kind of thing. It's genuinely evil. Like, this is someone that needs to be facing life in jail. 100%. So I wanted to give you the little Wes Watson update here. It is a very serious case, and I truly hope this is the last time Wes will be out in free society. He needs to be in the slammer. Anyway, that's really about it. Great coverage from John. Bravo on this whole case here. And yeah, that's about it. See ya. In my quest to watch every video game movie ever made, I just made it to one that I was really dreading. And boy howdy did it hit me like a brick. A punishment I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. Watching the Assassin's Creed movie. I have a theory that most people that watch this film in theaters dumped it from their memories as a way of coping with the traumatic experience of watching something so criminally boring. I think as a defense mechanism, the human body voided the memory of this film's existence from a lot of people that were unfortunately subjected to its horrors. Now, the way I'm portraying it here makes it sound like it's one of the worst movies ever made that's damn near unwatchable. And that's because it's not far off. Not because I think it's objectively as bad as some of the other films I've already watched, like Silent Hill Revelations. There are definitely worse video game movies that have been made, for sure. But this one just does everything that nobody asked for. It is like the perfect epitome of taking a property that you're adapting and then just wiping your ass with pretty much everything to do with it. And I think what makes it more insulting is that there's glimmers of potential throughout the movie, like specifically with its action choreography. They do a really good job of capturing the free running and parkour of the games as well as the combat of the games in this movie. It's really flashy, it's really stylistic. Like, they do a very good job and a pretty faithful attempt at recreating that experience in a movie. I was very impressed with that. But everything else around it is a complete disaster. By far, its biggest sin is how boring the movie is, and that's because instead of just, you know, as the games would set you up, getting into the Animus, getting into the action, and you are in the Animus in the past doing all your assassin shit, instead of making that the focal point, instead it's mainly about this tedious chore of following our brooding, aggressive protagonist Cal, played by Michael Fassbender, around Abstergo as he talks to a lady who wants to end violence. She found the cure for violence. It's the apple of Eden. Cal comes directly from the assassin's bloodline. They find him. He's very aggressive. He watched his father kill his mother when he was a kid, and then he ran away. His father was, of course, an assassin. He ran away, and he grew up to be very violent, and he fights people. And he was on death row. He was getting, killed because he killed a pimp. They make a point at making that, like, what he was facing the death penalty for. She was like, "You're very violent." And he says, "Yeah, you killed someone, didn't you? You're a murderer." And he's like, "Well, I mean, I killed a pimp." So because he murdered a pimp, he was getting killed on death row, and then the Templar come in and save him because they recognize that he's got the blood, and they need him to jack into the Animus so they can go into the past and find the Apple of Eden through him. And they have all of Abstergo set up with all of these other adjacent assassins in there that they've been exploring to try and find clues, but they need Cal. And Cal's just brooding, and he sometimes makes wisecracks, but he's just so boring. Everything that happens in Abstergo is a snooze fest. And it's really some weird decisions they made with the Animus itself, because instead of just lying down in the Animus, they make it a giant claw. Literally like my GamerSup's claw machine, it is a giant claw that picks him up and does this with him, like gyrates him around for all of his parkour maneuvers, and it like thrusts him into a wall as he's like going back to the past. I don't really get the point, and this movie is entirely reliant on lens flare to obstruct your view of its CGI. It's a huge budget film, but for some reason it seems really shy about showing you its visual effects. So that claw, you never even get a clear picture of because it is constantly like a fucking solar flare hitting your retinas. Like your peepers getting melted like that guy from SpongeBob when the bald head shines in his direction. I don't know why they would even bother changing the Animus to something more intricate like that when they're not even going to show you it. And it also doesn't even matter. It does not do anything. It doesn't really change anything. It's just goofy and silly. It's like they really wanted to make like some deep sci-fi spin off the Animus, even though it's already very like deep tech. I don't know. I really don't know what they thought they were cooking there, but they fucking burnt that dish for sure. But when you finally do get into 15th century Spain with one of Cal's ancestors, it's really fine. Like, the parkour I said looks good. The action is actually pretty impressive. The story sucks. I don't think it's even worth diving into the narrative here. The story and the writing are atrocious. I think most of you know this by now. I am not the biggest Assassin's Creed enthusiast. I am one of its most adamant haters. I am a D1 Assassin's Creed not enjoyer. I am constantly screaming it from the mountaintops. I have not liked Assassin's Creed in about a decade. I like Black Flag. I know it's a really cold take, but Black Flag was the last one I liked, and I didn't even like that as much as everyone else seemed to. I just don't like the franchise. It's not for me. I don't have any problem with people liking it, though. That's totally fine. It's just not for me anymore. I find it to just be really not fun. So right away, this movie already had a tall mountain to climb in regards to my personal taste, but everything they did here narratively was so much worse than any of the Assassin's Creed games. And I've played pretty much all of them. I always give them a fair shake for the most part. I don't know why they wouldn't just take one of the storylines that had already been established through so many of these games. It would have been far easier, and it would have made a lot more sense than what they tried to conjure up with this dog shit. It is a disaster. Like I said, the Templars want to cure violence. They found the cure to aggression with the Apple of Eden, which takes away free will. Their whole plan is get rid of free will so we can control them and there is no longer any violence. And the lead scientist at the Templars is someone that you grow kind of sympathetic with, like, oh, seems like she might start to realize this is a bad idea, like, oh, maybe the Templar can't be trusted with something so powerful. Her motivation makes sense. Her mother was killed by an assassin. Now she wants to find the Apple of Eden to make sure that kind of tragedy doesn't happen to anybody else. Fast forward through the adventures of finding the Apple of Eden. It's really underwhelming. Like, everything that happened in the Animus with action was cool, but everything that happened story-wise was really silly, because it turns out the Apple of Eden was with Christopher Columbus the whole time. Christopher Columbus was associated with the assassins, and he held the Apple of Eden in his grave. So when the Templar learned that, they just go to where Christopher Columbus was buried and just ask for it. They're like, oh, the Apple of Eden? Yeah, it's right over here. We got it. It's in this box, actually. Like, it was just in their desk the whole time, right under their nose. This entire time. It was so lame. And speaking of lame, the entire character arc of Cal sucks major wiener. So Cal's dad kills his mom right in front of him. And it's, you know, that really fucks him up. Understandably so. So he spends his whole life, like, just being mean and aggressive, and he, like, hates his dad, wants his dad to die. So, like, his final words on the deathbed were, "Tell my father I'll see him in hell." That's what he says. It's so edgy and so grossly cringe. But we do get to see his dad. Abstergo actually has his dad there because they were using him to find more information on the Apple of Eden. So then he gets to meet his dad. He's like, "Papa, I hate you." And he's like, "I get that. Is it because I killed your mother? I did do that. I did kill your mother. But I did it for her own good. The assassins must protect the Apple of Eden. We have a creed we must uphold, the Assassin's Creed." And Cal has the hidden blade to him, and he's like, "If you're gonna kill me, Cal, just do it. I do deserve it." And he's like, "Do it yourself." And gives him the blade. So that's like their closure moment. And then eventually everything goes tits up after they learn about the Apple of Eden. All the assassins gang up with Cal to rise up against Abstergo so they can't get the Apple of Eden and take away free will. And Cal's dad, he has his hero moment where everyone's rising up, including Cal's dad. And Cal's dad kills one guy while he was like looking in the corner, Blair Witch style. He turns around, kills one guy, and then immediately just gets ganked. Like, the other three dudes stab him a bunch, and he just dies. And that's the last you ever see of Cal's dad. I don't know what the point of even bringing him back was. He added nothing. Truly a waste. And also, the entire, like, rising up against Abstergo was super weird, because all of the Abstergo employees, all of the security, they make a point of saying it was like a $9 trillion operation with the Animus and all of the Abstergo, like, henchmen and all their hired muscle, and yet not a single one of them has a gun. In fact, the only weapons Abstergo has are the weapons the assassins are proficient in: crossbows, knives, swords, and hidden blades. That's all they have. And keep in mind, the Abstergo employees, they are not assassins, they're just hired hands. Like, you would expect them to have some fucking guns, not a single gun. The only projectile weapon they have is crossbows, and they don't even use that. Only the assassins get that. They literally have that there just so the assassins can make sure they're fully equipped to rise up against them. I don't know what the plan was. It was so fucking wacky. Anyway, though, the movie ends with them getting the apple back, and to get the apple back, Cal ended up killing that lady's dad. I forgot both of their names. They were just so underwhelming. I do not remember those character names. But the scientist girl, she actually saw Cal's flashback, or rather his synchronization with the bloodline of the Assassin's Creed. So she saw all of the other assassins that Cal was seeing, and one of them was her. One of her ancestors was actually an assassin. Meanwhile, she is now a Templar scientist. And you think that this is the moment where they're planting the breadcrumb that she's going to turn and she's going to be the one to stop her father from taking away free will with the apple. But in fact, all it is her father gets the apple and she's talking to him like, Papa, I don't like what you're about to do with this. And he's like, I understand, but thanks for writing my speech. This one's for you. So then he goes out there and to all the Templar, like the whole organization, he's like, I have the apple of Eden. It's right here, the sacred apple of Eden. Free will is gone. We can control free will, and those pesky assassins are vanquished once I use this apple of Eden. And then Cal approaches the scientist lady, and he's like, you know what I have to do, right? And she's like, yeah. So then he walks by her and then just kills her dad. No issue at all, no hiccups, just walks up, kills the dad, and then takes the apple. And then the scientist lady goes up to the dad's body while his corpse is cold. She sheds a tear. And then she decides that she wants to double down and get the apple back and kill every assassin. We must eradicate the assassins and take away free will. Even though just minutes ago, she had a huge issue with what her dad was about to do. Meanwhile, she is now completely flip-flopped and wants the exact same thing. What the fuck? I don't know what they were trying to set up, but they didn't follow through on it. I feel like they probably were going in a different direction at some point and then just said, fuck it, just ship it. And it just doesn't connect. It doesn't really work. Nothing in the movie really works aside from its action. That's the only saving grace of this film, and it doesn't save it. This movie is so boring. I already didn't like Assassin's Creed as a property, and this made me like it even less. It's just insulting. It's bad. It's not good. That's really about it. So yeah.
Initiating moisture.
Welcome to the Moist Meter. Today we're looking at the new Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. It's weird, Maleficent's one of the very few Disney movies where critics felt confident enough in their 3 inches of usable penis to come out and just openly shit on and tear apart in their reviews. And that's very uncommon and uncharacteristic of these pathetic worms, because usually they'll suck the ass of anything Disney related. They're usually not overly harsh on Disney movies, but for some reason Maleficent was where they finally rallied their flags and started shitting on it openly. And now for Mistress of Evil, they're doing the same thing and openly shitting on it, just being super hard on the movie, which, I mean, it'd be great if it made sense, but to me it doesn't. Maleficent's not exactly the Disney movie that I think's deserving of this kind of bukkake session. It's not bad. The first one I enjoyed quite a bit, and the second one I enjoyed even more so. Well, not even more so, but just as much, for a different reason. I don't understand why it's the subject to the critics just annihilating it. It's very strange to me. Maybe it's just pent-up aggression from not being able to give honest reviews in some movies because they get funding from some of the studios and don't want to look bad or offend fans. But I really don't see what critics hate about the movies. It's the first one, for example, had a very fun twist on a classic story we've all heard and seen in the animated version. It's an alternate telling of the story that's really visually pleasing, as well as being pretty goddamn dark for a Disney fairy tale. It's something unique, which is significantly better than the lazy fucking rehashes of the same story with a one-to-one recreation of the animated to live action like Lion King and shit like that. I much prefer a unique twist on it or a new creative vision of the story. Mistress of Evil admittedly isn't as good as the first one in the department of telling you a unique story to the universe. This one doesn't really have the same type of emotional levels that the first one did, nor does it really try to. The emphasis on this one is more about fear and war, which is very unique to a fucking Disney classic fairy tale, and I like that. By the time the credits roll in this movie, fucking 10,000 humans and 10,000 fairies have all perished brutally. I'm talking straight murder. The fairies get vaporized like they'd been caught in an atomic bomb testing facility. It goes pretty goddamn hard for a PG Disney fairy tale movie. Now, one complaint I have is Maleficent herself, Angelina Jolie, really isn't a big part of this movie. She's very rarely on screen in this movie. She's like Godzilla in the Godzilla movies, where he's barely ever on screen. It's just kind of a letdown, because I think she's a great Maleficent. I think she fucking kills it. So to really not have her as a very big presence in the movie, I think is a bit of a misstep. But it's still fun. It's still well made. The story, admittedly, isn't the most complex or the most surprising with its twists and turns or anything. But it's unique enough to the universe that I still very much enjoyed it. I don't have a whole lot of complaints about this movie. All I have is nice things to say about it because I enjoyed it. I felt like I was watching more than just a passionless retelling of something we've seen already 1,000 times that Disney for some reason just keeps fucking whipping with the whip over there with Mickey Mouse and forcing it to dance on screen for more money from China and from, the coming of age people that haven't seen the animated versions. So to see something that has a different twist and does try and be unique in an already existing IP is something I'll always respect. And I think both Maleficent movies do a good job of that. I don't think anyone's going to be bored with them because they move along pretty fast and they are kind of hardcore. They do kill characters, which I don't see a whole lot of in movies for kids these days. I mean, I understand it's a kids movie. You're not going there expecting blood, tits, and rock and roll flying around. But to actually kill off important characters and to kill them off in the way that Maleficent does, it's pretty rare to see. So I like what they've done with the Maleficent 1 and 2. Maleficent 2 I think is a bit weaker than the first one, but it is still just as visually pleasing, probably more so, especially when it comes time to the battle and the war. It's a really nice spectacle of this red mist that's just vaporizing the fairies, as well as some combat between them. Then there's some like really anime moments, arms go out and then all of a sudden spells are flying out of her hands. I half expected to hear the Evangelion theme song to come on half the time during the fight. Before I forget, there's one thing I want to mention. There's like 5 or 6 times you think the movie's just about to wrap itself up, like you would just hit the climax and now we're about to come down towards the resolution, and then it doesn't. It keeps going, which isn't necessarily a huge complaint, but it's really odd that they'd have like these really hardcore emotional moments that you think are about to just be like the deciding end of where this is going, and then it keeps going. I don't know, it kind of threw me off a couple times. Not that it's that big of a deal, but it's just something to make note of. They really wanted to, tease you over there with that little foreplay, that little hint that it's coming. Oh, kidding, it's not coming yet. We've still got the stamina. It's just, from start to finish, I did enjoy the movie, and I think Maleficent 1 and 2 are a nice addition to the established property that they're spinning off of. I think they justify their existence, and they seem like a passionate retelling of a classic tale, and I like that. So putting Maleficent Mistress of Evil on the moist meter, I'm giving it a nice fat 70%. I would recommend it if you're a fan of Disney movies or fairy tales in general. I think it's a fun movie, and usually these kind of movies I think are very forgettable. But with Maleficent, at least in the first one's respect, it's a movie that I think about a little bit because I did like what it did, and I like the universe it created. And Mistress of Evil really goes in hard and doubles down on that universe. Doesn't really add a whole lot to it as a whole, because I feel like the first one kind of wrapped itself up nicely enough that the second one didn't need to be made, but it had a story to tell and it told it well. And I enjoyed it. That's it. So yeah. I was sleepy once. It was a long time ago. If you think I look tired, well, you better get your eyes checked, Buster. That's a certified WebMD diagnosable moment right there that something has gone awry with your peepers. Could a sleepy man do this? Checkmate. Point is, in my endless battle against insomnia, I happen to have stumbled across something interesting again this evening. And it pertains to last night's video about the $20 million reality TV show, Twitch streamer, fan, production, extravaganza, mansion, titties, beer, rock and roll, whatever else it was pitching itself as, called the $1 Million Fan Show. Well, I speculated that it was a big scam, and a lot of Twitch streamers had been publicly put on the website. Some had even made announcements about their endorsement of the $1 Million Fan Show, and nothing about it seemed legitimate. I'm not just going to regurgitate everything from last night's video. You can check that out if you want a deeper dive on everything that was wrong with it. But last night on stream, like 45 minutes after I posted the video, they took their website down. Then I was checking their other ancillary shit, and all of that is removed. It seems like they are scrubbing any existence of the $1 Million Fan Show from the internet. So like even the Reddit post that the livestream fail mods posted is taken down. I don't know if that was by order of the $1 Million Fan Illuminati or if the mods that had signed an agreement with them had a come to Jesus moment that they may have been misled, so they decided to take it down. But apparently they also removed like their Discord and their socials, which is a huge blow, by the way, because the $1 Million Fan Show had like 5 Instagram followers, so really playing a sad song on the world's smallest violin now that 5 Instagram followers have been cast into oblivion, banished to the Shadow Realm. I feel like that's pretty strong evidence for my game theory that it was all a big load of hullabaloo, a bunch of hooey. I don't think a legitimate company that's putting together a $20 million grand prize reality show that is also a television program that is also employing some of the highest level production staff imaginable for a once-in-a-lifetime unforgettable experience for streamer fans. Also, their About Us section had all the telltale signs of just being AI generated, where literally every section ended with triplets where it was, it's not this, it's this. Performance, power, mentality. Mentality, tits, mentality. Like, it's just like, it was very clearly AI generated. The fucking first thing you see on their website is an AI generated image of a mansion. The whole thing just reeked of scam. And now everything has been deleted, presumably by them. I don't think, some governing body came in to, wipe them out. I think this is them trying to cover their own ass, so that way there isn't some kind of legal action taken against them. Because from what I've read, there were actually some members of some streamer communities that put money into the $1 Million Fan Show. They bought emote packages. I read a report on someone that claims to have spent a couple $100 doing so. So I imagine there was a handful of people that did legitimately lose money on this. Now, of course, you have to take those claims with a grain of salt because there's no real evidence to back it up, especially now that everything is deleted. There's nothing to prove that. But I'm inclined to believe those statements from them because these streamers are, to a lot of people, a trustworthy source. And if they're endorsing something and they say that there's a chance that they can win $20 million or whatever the fuck through like signing up for it, they will do so. And when you go to the website and do their free sign up, they're very heavily pushing you to do the monetized sign up for unlimited entries by giving them money. So I bet a lot of them were baited into doing that. Now, as I said in the last video, I am shocked that Mythic Talent actually even floated this to their creators like Extra Emily. She, in her statement, mentioned Mythic Talent by name, that they had pitched it to her. I was surprised it made it to a streamer because anyone that even had their eyes open and neurons firing for a second would go to that website and know full well immediately, right from the jump, that this is not real, that this is fraudulent. So I did a little digging, and I was able to get in contact with an agent, not at Mythic, but at another agency that did have this exact same thing come across their desk for their streamer clients as something to pitch to them. And according to that agent, I don't know how deep into the nitty-gritty I'm allowed to get, what they sent them, the pitch deck, was extraordinarily different from what ended up making it to that website. From what I understand, and from what I have been told, they were under the impression that this was an Amazon-backed production, at least initially. And at the time of receiving this offer, they didn't have a website or anything public outside of that pitch deck, I guess, they were hawking to agencies. And it is indeed a paid promotion. The streamers that are listed there were paid for this partnership, and there was no additional information available beyond the concept of the show and the promise that Amazon was behind a historic $20 million streamer fan buttfuck hullabaloo reality TV show. Now, one of the streamers also sent me the exact offer that was presented to them, which gives further confirmation to all of this. It comes from Mythic. This is the direct offer from Mythic that this streamer received. I'm not going to show the actual thing, so that way no one gets into legal hot water here. I don't want to, step on too many Legos, but I will give you the general overview for what the pitch was, the offer. Interestingly enough, the offer came back in June of 2025 from Mythic. And the opening line was about how it's an Amazon series. This is an Amazon series looking to break records, a historic $20 million prize purse reality show. It doesn't even name the show, by the way. I'm guessing back in June of 2025, they didn't even have the name of the show or anything concrete. There was no website, no mention of like LSF or brand partners or anything like that. It was just a single sentence that said, Amazon reality TV show set to air on Amazon Prime featuring the soon-to-be-broken Guinness World Record book for biggest prize pool in history, 20 million, winning group splits money in half, 10 million to you and 10 million to the fan. That is the entire explanation for what this deal was. Interestingly enough, like I said, June of 2025. The deliverables were a reality TV show appearance, 1 to 7 days, depending on how far you make it, and a single social post. The initial filming date was November 3rd to November 10th, but guessing, some wires got crossed there, fucking nipple clamps came down, maybe government shutdown, put that on the back burner, so that had to put the kibosh on that and shelve it till, I guess, 2026. Anyway, though, they were offering $3,000 for the streamer involvement here, plus 20% of net ticket sales from your ticket, which the streamer expressed some confusion over because they didn't believe Mythic knew that there was like this paid entry option, but in the offer it says they were getting 20% of net ticket sales. When you go, well, knowing now, hindsight's 2020, but like going to the website that existed, when you would sign up through a streamer portal, you were paying for those entries if you wanted to extend beyond just the free submission. So I'm thinking that the idea from this offer was that when someone, a fan of the streamer, did a paid entry through their portal, they would get a portion of that. So like I feel like Mythic would have had to have known that there was some kind of like paid component to the fans, but who knows? There's so little information here in the actual offer that Mythic took to the streamers. I am still extremely surprised it even made it to a single streamer as something to consider. I don't know why there wouldn't be more digging to confirm if this is actually even an Amazon show, because after the offer, they then go into like a general explanation for it, and it is so bare bones. It sounds like something that a person would cook up in 5 minutes while taking a shit after consuming like, their morning oats or something. There's not a whole lot of thought into this. Competition details. 1 creator, 1 fan group eliminated per day. $20 million cash prize. 1 creator, 2 fans. They will be gaming, IRL, and cognitive challenges. Think Survivor, but for creators. And then it just lays out like the most simple, boring shit ever for the competition. And then the Apocalypse Challenge on day 3, during which fans will compete head-to-head with each other, resulting in a mass elimination. Narrow the group down so each creator is ultimately paired with one of their original fans for the last 4 days. It's like, it's if you went to like a fucking Redditor and asked them to really quickly come up with a streamer game show or something. Now, as for the initial start date of November, the streamer was just told that it got pushed back to March. I don't think there was any like real explanation for what went wrong. Maybe bad weather, perhaps government shutdown, all kinds of possibilities for why it got moved. But they weren't really, kept up to date, kept abreast on everything going on here with this huge, giant Amazon show. I am even more surprised that any agency would have seen this and just shipped it as is, just said, fuck it, do it live. We'll send it out to our streamers to see if they'll accept the $3,000 offer with the 20% ticket sales split or whatever. Because, like, I feel like when you are getting this as, pitched as an Amazon production, you would probably want to confirm if this is actually coming from Amazon. Because if you're going to work at this agency managing these kind of contracts and stuff, but you're working under the impression that no one's going to tell lies on the internet, what's stopping just any old Joe Schmo Dorito dusted fingers from sending you a cold call email saying like, hey, this is me, Amazon, pitching you a $50 quadrillion reality television show. I'll offer like $3,000 with some rev split to your streamers. Do you mind taking this to them? I'd love if they start shouting out goochsweat.org soon. It's a very legitimate reality TV show. We're Amazon, by the way. And you not press that any further, because that's what it feels like. Looking at the offer, there is no actual information about like Amazon being behind this. And since this was back in June of 2025, I can understand the absence of a website a little bit more back there, because if this is like an Amazon show, they're probably not going to make the website first and foremost because they don't want to like spoil it or anything. Like, I can kind of understand that. So streamers being left in the dark on, like a website that they can access, like this website it didn't exist according to the streamer. It just recently popped up, which according to Whois, that does appear to be the case. Even though the domain had been registered for a while, it was updated in like late December. So that's probably when it actually went live, which is when anyone could go on there and see how fraudulent it was with just a single fucking glance. So I do now understand that there were streamers that literally couldn't look up this show because the offer doesn't even have the name of the show and the website didn't exist. What I'm still confused on is like why anyone would still accept that deal. And then I start to understand a bit more that they just have trust in the agency not to be presenting them with a scam. They had trust that the Mythic Talent, for example, like in Extra Emily's case, was bringing them something that was legitimate. So they're seeing like, oh, it's an Amazon show that wants to work with me and they're making this offer. Okay, this seems like a big deal. I'll sign up to that and, do the social post or whatever. Also, if you try and look up milliondollarfan.show now, the most recent update to the site was today, because the update was just nuking it, taking it down. But prior to that, it was updated in late December, which is when I imagine this went live. So now it seems like the streamers literally didn't even have access to look up the information themselves on that website, which again, doesn't take a super sleuth, fucking pinky up internet, narwhal baconing at midnight master to see that that is a fucking disaster of a website that is clearly in a shady spot, most likely looking to scam. The streamers didn't know that site was there because the deal was all the way back in June. Though I will say, looking at the offer, this should have been something that I think streamers should have been a little weary of because it feels like it is very odd just looking at it. But I think that does fall a bit more on the agency than it does the streamer itself, because there is a level of trust from streamers with the person that is like managing their brand deals, that what they are getting is not just fucking toilet paper that's trying to wipe their ass with their fans. And in this case, I am still just shocked that it even made it to the streamers in the first place. This should have been probably caught far earlier. I imagine they could have confirmed well beyond this, like almost a year later, that this wasn't Amazon behind it. If they had maybe set up like calls or something or looked for any level of proof of this being Amazon, like even just questioning, where is this money coming from? Who else are we working with? What is the actual production timeline and all that looking like? I feel like there was definitely a way like Mythic Talent could have caught this and then never even had to get to this point where there were real victims where, based on what I've read, there were people that put in like hundreds of dollars, which again, I know you have to take it with a grain of salt because there's no like evidence to support those claims that people lost a ton of money since now everything is scrubbed, but I'm inclined to believe them because the audience has a level of trust in the streamer that what they are pitching is not just a scam that's going to just rob their fucking piggy banks. So I do think that there were real victims here, and I think it was just so easily avoidable. This shit is just fucking wild that it even happened. R.I.P. $1 Million Show. Definitely feels like it was a scam from the get-go, considering they have just vanished, poofed out of existence, and erased every trace that they were ever even here to begin with. Anyway, though, that's really about it. So, yeah. Good morning. I hope you're ready to put a frown on that face. If you happen to be smiling right now, get that off of there. Take it down. And I mean that because what we're going to be talking about today is very infuriating to any sane person out there. And it's something that needs to be talked about and is part of a phenomenon that's becoming all too common, which is child sexual abuse crimes no longer being taken seriously in our justice system. Minimal punishment to the demons that commit these crimes. Behold, Exhibit A. Robert Morris has just been released from jail after spending only 6 months in there. Robert Morris is a former Texas megachurch pastor, also former spiritual advisor to Donald Trump, who last year pled guilty to 5 counts of lewd or indecent acts with a child. In the 1980s, Morris was molesting a 12-year-old girl multiple times, numerous instances of him molesting a child. People in the church also lied and covered for him, even attacking the victim. And eventually, last year, it was all completely confirmed that he had committed these acts. He had even pled guilty to these acts. And the justice that was dispensed? A measly 6 months in jail for Robert Morris. And now he has 9.5 years of probation, which he will spend living in his luxurious lake house property. He also paid, I think it was $270,000 in restitution, which is peanuts to this guy's net worth. and he has to register as a sex offender, which, judging from the response from people, probably won't have any effect on him. People are like, well, he did the time. He's a changed man now. He's learned from his mistakes. We should welcome him back with open arms, which I think is unhinged lunacy. But if this current administration has taught us anything, it's that the sex offender label is a protected status in the government. Fucking Donald Trump appointed Lawrence Taylor on his Council of Sports and Nutrition. Lawrence Taylor is literally a level 1 sex offender, actively registered sex offender, and Donald Trump gave him a position that supposedly works with children here on this council. And of course, the government doing everything imaginable to protect those named in the Epstein files. It's pretty clear that the sex offender label doesn't actually matter to a lot of people in positions of power, and even to just normal community members, it seems like they're more than willing to just say, welcome back, Robert Morris, we're glad to have you home. It's just complete fucking insanity. I'm just gonna be honest with you, puppet pals, and again, maybe I'm just fucking boofing crazy pills here. It just doesn't smell like justice to me. That Robert Morris only spends 6 months behind bars in the slammer, even though he has been found guilty to molesting a 12-year-old girl multiple times, numerous instances of it, only spending 6 months in jail, and then getting to just live it up in his $1 million lake house property, and I imagine will be landing lucrative gigs in the future, even despite all of these known facts about him being a heinous, unforgivable demon. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this is a phenomenon that I think is becoming even more common. Another thing that I read today is that one of the January 6th rioters who's been pardoned by Trump turns out to have been a huge pedophile. There's actually been a couple of them, but the most recent one is Daniel Tochi. He was just sentenced to 4 years in jail for having more than 100,000 child sexual abuse images and videos on his devices. Authorities also found other disturbing things in there, like apparently he had saved videos of like a cat being thrown in blenders, stuff like that. But what I don't understand is, why is his sentencing so light? Why is he only getting 4 years in jail? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. He had over 100,000 images and videos of child sexual abuse material. Why is he not being behind bars for the rest of his life? This is absurd. This is just downright preposterous. 4 years in jail for that? That's 4 years in jail is like the same sentence they give to someone who fucking had an ounce of weed in their car or something. Like, this is completely inexcusable. And just even reading about this case makes me feel like Ed from the episode of Ed, Edd n Eddy when he had a fucking rock in his shoe, where he's just really mad. Like, that's how I felt reading this whole fucking thing. So apparently, Tochi's attorney had argued for dismissal because the evidence of all of this child sexual abuse material was gathered from the case for which Daniel Tochi was pardoned by Trump. The case against Mr. Tochi must be dismissed because the entirety of the evidence stems from a warrant that, according to President Trump, should never have issued. President Trump recognized the ongoing nature of the injustice against Mr. Tochi as the investigation took place over the course of 4 years, and the instant case is still being prosecuted. There aren't enough words that exist to describe this kind of evil, ghoulish behavior. So fundamentally, his argument boils down to, this case is unjust because you gathered all of this evidence of my client having over 100,000 images and videos of child sexual abuse material during an investigation from a case that President Trump has pardoned him for. Thus, all of this evidence is moot. Yes, all of it exists, but you didn't collect it appropriately. Thus, my client should be a free man, despite very clearly being a deranged pedophile. And they're falling onto, like, President Trump as, like, a means of shielding them. Like, President Trump said that this warrant should have never happened in the first place. Thus, you would have never even known that my client was a pedophile. So we have to dismiss this. That was what he tried to argue. Unsuccessfully, for the most part, though, even though they did lose that case, his client's only getting 4 years despite having over 100,000 images and videos of child sexual abuse material. That's not justice. He should be in jail for life. He is a fucking danger to a civilized society. This is a monster. Why in the fuck is he only getting 4 years in jail? It's just crazy that crimes like this aren't being taken seriously. Child sexual abuse crimes are not being taken seriously by the justice system anymore. And like I said, these aren't just some like fringe rare cases. It feels like it's only getting more and more frequent. I could go on and on. Another really recent example, a case that actually happened here in Florida, in Tallahassee. A Judge Tiffany Baker Carper allowed a maniac by the name of Daniel Spencer, who had just been convicted a month earlier of trying to meet up with a 15-year-old minor for sex. He was caught in a sting operation. And while awaiting sentencing, the judge allowed him out on bond, and while out on bond, he murdered his stepdaughter, Melissa Missy Mogul. The judge stated he's been out for an entire year, as far as I saw, with no violations. I didn't see any criminal history regarding violence. The only criminal history I saw was relating to drug offenses. When I looked, Madam Prosecutor, you're free to enlighten the court if I've missed something. This article then went on to say that it's unclear from the record whether the judge or prosecutor were aware at the time that the Tallahassee Police Department, in consultation with the state attorney's office and the DCF, had investigated allegations that Daniel Spencer molested Missy. Both agencies dropped their investigations without taking action because of a lack of probable cause. So it seems like there were allegations there that weren't pursued, and the judge decided that while awaiting sentencing, even though he had been convicted of trying to meet up with a minor for sex, that he'd posed no violent danger, so allowed him free on bond. And while out, he murdered his stepdaughter. Now, let me ask you something, and I want you to put on your thinking caps here for this thought experiment, this exercise. What fucking sense does that make? He is convicted of trying to meet a child for sex. How is he not a danger? Like, maybe he doesn't have a violent criminal history, but he is convicted of trying to meet a child for sex. Why let him out on bond in the first place? Especially, he knows he's going to get sentenced. I would imagine most people would have the thought that would cross their noodle like, well, maybe he's going to go out there and do something. He knows he's going to the big house, so maybe there's a chance he would just go out there and do something drastic in the meantime while he's still breathing the free air. I don't know how that scenario wouldn't be a consideration for the judge here. It doesn't make any sense to me. He is convicted of trying to meet a child for sex. What sense does it make to release him out into the public, into the community, while awaiting the sentencing? All that does is put that madman back out there in the meantime where there could be more victims. It really is just outrageous. The judge seemingly didn't think that this guy, this pedophile, was dangerous. His crime wasn't really violent. He was just trying to meet a child for sex. So I don't see like a criminal history of violence. So we'll go ahead and let him out on bond. I won't revoke that. That's fine. And naturally, this caused a big uproar here in Florida, as it rightfully should. I think this is completely inexcusable. If the judge had ruled that he must stay in custody during the sentencing as they await for it, then that 5-year-old child would still be alive. Most likely. I think that is very true. And I do think judges need to be held accountable for these kind of fucking baffling decisions that they make. Judges should not be above responsibility and accountability. And this was such a big deal here in Florida that a new piece of legislation was put into effect called Missy's Law, named after the victim in this case, with the stated intention of requiring judges to remand defendants to custody immediately after their conviction of certain dangerous crimes rather than allow them to remain free pending sentences, which happened in the case of Missy's stepfather. So basically, when someone is convicted of a dangerous crime, which I believe, and I think most sane, sensible people would also agree with, that Daniel Spencer's initial conviction of trying to meet up with a 15-year-old child for sex makes him a dangerous criminal. He should not have had the opportunity to be out again in the meantime, in between the conviction and the sentencing. I think that 100% should constitute staying in custody. I saw the comments on the video earlier today. You guys were so nice to me about my hairline. Oh my goodness, I was blushing. Making a 31-year-old man feel like a boy again. So to celebrate, we cracked open a $35,000 box of Magic the Gathering cards. Whoopee! La, 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 la. Charlie flushing big bucks down the shitter again for the sake of banger content. And perhaps a bit of mental illness. Little column A, little column B. But you're not my dad, you're not my therapist, so I'm gonna keep doing it. This is something you don't see very often for obvious reasons. A, the boxes don't exist in large capacity anymore. They're extremely rare. And B, they're absurdly expensive. It is a Magic the Gathering box called Legends, which is legitimately a piece of Magic the Gathering history, which is my favorite card game. Have an entire channel dedicated to Magic. And this is part of our series, Box Brawl, where we open every set of Magic and then build decks out of our pulls. We each get 9 packs each and make decks and have a brawl with them. So, this is our most expensive Box Brawl to date. The whole thing is up on the Skill Check channel. Hold the opening, that's here on this channel. So if you want to see these cards in action, you can go there. I don't sell the cards or anything like that, but if you were to tally up the total from our pulls, it doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of what was lost financially when purchasing this box and opening it. The second you pull the plastic off, your money just... And that's part of the fun, baby. That's part of the thrill with Box Brawl. So I'll show you the opening here. And like I said, this is like a very important set in Magic history. This came out in 1994. That's the same year I popped into this world through the old birth canal. Now, when we were opening it, I didn't remember how expensive this box was because it'd been like over a year since I had purchased it. So at the time, I thought it was $15,000. But I don't know, due to inflation or maybe, I don't know exactly what prices are looking like in vintage Magic these days, but whatever the case, it is $35,000 right now on the low end. I've seen it go up to $50K, so it's somewhere in that general ballpark. And we ripped this puppy open with reckless abandon, caution to the wind, and built some fucking outrageous decks out of the pulls. So go check out the skill check video if you want to see them in action. There's a link in the description. Hopefully you enjoy the opening here, though. I'm pretty pumped. So this is a Legends box. This was 1994. June. This introduced legendary creatures to the game.
And multicolored spells.
Yep. This is
without this, realistically, Box Brawls
never exists.
Yeah. We're not born without this.
Yeah, that's true. We cease to be.
Yep. So this is a pretty big one. The hits in this one are chunky.
Yeah.
So there's a Tabernacle.
Yes.
It's a few thousand ungraded.
We're in the 4 digits?
We're in the 4 digis again.
Yeah.
Matt,
this is a big...
Matt is out of bed.
And I think that, like, the number of these boxes that are just existent or that people know about is, like...
very low.
Pretty low.
Look at how...
I know, look at the...
Oh my
God. It's such thick plastic. It's not like the saran wrap that they use.
This was before we knew plastic was bad for the environment.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So we do have a crooked pack, but I think it's because it went from here to here.
Yeah.
They weren't as good back then.
Yeah.
So this came out in June 1994. I came out in May 1994.
Whoa! I came out in August 1994.
Congratulations to you
I
guys.
just barely beat this box out into the world.
I was already at Friday Night Magics when this box was alive. Not really.
Yeah, no.
Alright, so we're going pack.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll do it that way. Let's see what we get. I think
Mine are a little twisted, but that's fine.
There's no foiling in this. This predates that practice.
Okay.
So I think our odds of getting like a big hits are pretty high. So
and we're looking for Tabernacle.
Tabernacle, Chains of Mephistopheles, Moat, the Abyss.
Oh no!
A lot of white and black
Urborg.
spells.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. A legendary land.
Wow.
You don't see a lot of those.
Is this a how to play?
Look at the first rules clarification.
Oh,
it's
shit.
2 paragraphs about bands with other.
Bands.
Do you think anybody's ever played Commander with a Legends box?
I don't think so. I was going to say, I don't know how many boxes of these have even been opened on camera. I bet you there are probably more alpha box openings than there are for Legends boxes.
Do you want to know why? Because this is a 3-mana 2/6 with no other text.
Fair.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
A good game.
Yeah.
Zach actually
game.
passed out for how much.
He passed away.
So they don't have any like indicators what's common, uncommon, or rare?
Not at all.
I think the Pit Scorpion was our rare.
So, looking at my pack on accident, the first card under this one was the rare.
Oh, okay. Oh,
think
yeah, wait, that
that
makes
was
sense.
your rare.
Yeah.
So then the Tucknear Deathblock, the Summon Legend is the rare.
So,
Wait, that's actually really good.
It's really not bad. It's a 2/2 4-mana flyer, and I can pay 2, and that's the old tap
That's the
symbol.
old tap symbol, yeah.
Target creature gains +2/+2 until
Oh.
He's got a flyer.
Yeah, that's good.
My
don't
first
even have to
card, Palladium Moors, the Naya Elder Dragon Legend.
That's
Holy
sick.
shit.
Wait, that's
It's-
probably a big one.
It's a
right?
Flampler.
Sick.
It's a flying trample. You can pay Naya or it dies on every upkeep. And I got Pendlehaven. This is by an artist that I think I have
Pendle.
a.
I love Pendle. You have a Matt.
Yeah, I have a playmat. Dwarven Song, Dreamcoat, Equinox again, Giant Turtle,
Huge.
Divine Offering,
Pit Scorpion, yep.
Enchantment Altruism. Whoa, Glyph of Destruction.
That
That's
looks
cool.
sick.
Duskwood Boars,
It's like a band symbol from the
Amro Kithkin, Transmutation. That's a cool card. Remove Soul, and the Crookshank Kobolds.
All right.
Beautiful.
So we're going to pull off the rules straight into the big hit.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Vivictus Asmati. It's a ghost song.
Whoa!
It's a flying. I can play. I can get a bunch of stuff for paying mana.
Jesus, all these legends are flyers.
Yeah.
A
It's all in-
7-mana, 8-mana
Oh.
flyer with 7, brother. You got
Casimir the Lone Wolf.
Ooh.
It's just a 5/3 legend.
pretty good.
Dude, legendary creatures
Oh, look,
abound.
another. Jedit Ohanin.
Oh my god.
Oh, you got Urborg.
Urborg.
Yeah.
Flash Flood. Crimson Kobolds. Duskwood Boars.
This is so cool.
Yeah, this is really cool.
is really cool.
I love these old sets.
I believe the most expensive uncommon that you are looking for is Mana Drain.
Oh, that makes
Checks
sense.
out.
Not vampire bats.
No, I'm not thinking Vampire
Not
Bats.
Wall of Wonder.
Yeah, I imagine not.
What about that 3-mana 2/6 in red that you got? That thing.
Yeah, that's going to be a beater.
Oh, what did you get?
Uh-oh.
Is this good face?
Uh-oh.
No, it's just Rasputin.
Incredible.
This is the biggest pull right now.
Yeah, I think it
For-
is.
He's
how
a,
much?
He's a. Okay, sorry.
He is 110.
110, not bad.
All right, Zach. I also pulled your favorite card,
Ah, yes.
Barktooth Warbeard.
Oh, that's Patrick Star.
He's 7-mana legend 6/5 with no other text.
Wow.
Nice.
And I got a Pendlehaven.
Hey.
How much is this box?
I'll double check. I think it's 15K.
Yeah.
15K.
It sits around there.
So,
Huh.
oddly
Hornet
enough,
Cobra?
if some of the hits are a few thousand,
You could get close.
you could get closer on this box than most.
Yeah, 50,
Let's
it's
just
15K.
say I'm not thinking that we're gonna get there so far.
Name just in pencil.
Yes.
You just wrote it there.
This is back, and this was for a long time. A lot of the artists just signed their name on the art
Yeah,
on the card.
so
like,
many have it.
even in the commons, even
Yeah,
in the
it's
rares, like it's on most of them.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really funny.
This guy, I think, put a year. I think this says 93.
Yeah.
Is Reverberation anything? Or is that just a big bunch of trash?
Really
At
big.
least I got another legend. The Riven Turnbull.
oh.
Oh yeah, this guy.
He's a 5/7 and he can tap to add black mana.
Would you like to swing your 5/7 or
Well,
get
he's
one
a
black
7-mana
mana?
5/7. So either way, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
the game is over. I would like to summon Zach for a cameo that he may rip a
Zach,
pack.
Bring him in.
Pack, bro.
Come on
him
here,
in.
boss.
All right, let's rip this. Also, I can't believe no one has said Elder Dragons are in this set. This is where Commander comes from.
Nico Bolas.
think so.
One of the big
Yeah, Nicol
Any of the
Bolas.
Elder Dragons
What?
could be your commander, and that was the
Yeah,
idea.
Palladium Ores.
That's cool.
All right, we're looking
Victus
at
Asmadi.
Ramses Overdark.
Oh,
What
good.
a stupid name.
Destroys a target creature which has an enchantment card played on it.
Well, that's my first D&D OC.
Abomination.
He was an abomination.
I don't know why it
Winds
sounded
of
like you
Change.
said abomination.
Obama
Backfire.
Abomination.
Glyph of Life. Remove Soul. Active Volcano. It looks like a tropical island, but it's not.
True.
Barbary apes.
Yeah.
If apes, monkeys. Or something like that.
Big.
Thank you, Zach.
Big pack. Big pack.
Overdark is really going to help.
Jack shit.
Here comes the big pack. Nope, that's Sentinel. Don't nobody care about that goofball.
What the heck is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait,
But
the
he
next
looks.
one looks cool.
I mean, he looks really fucking sad and stupid. Yeah.
Chase, I want you to open this pack.
Okay.
Yeah. Be careful, because the one under that is the rare.
The one under this.
Yeah.
It comes at you quick.
Yeah, he
Comes at you quick.
starts
Comes
punching.
fast, like many of us. Whoa! Oh, that's cool.
Rogar.
Yeah.
Keep. I'm in the right piles. Evil Eye of Ormsbygor.
Wow.
That's all one word.
That's amazing.
Ormsbygor. Backfire.
Back shots.
Casimir, the lone wolf. Giant. Wow, that's a guy.
Oh my god, that art
Oh
is
my
so
god.
Oh, he's got a beer belly.
Oh my god, that's revolting.
I actually saw it earlier and just stopped looking at it because it made me uncomfortable.
That looks like a Smiling Friends character.
Oh yeah.
And Emerald Dragonfly and Alabaster Potion.
Thank you very much, Chase.
Nice.
Yes!
Nice.
I might be playing kobolds, dude. That's
Yeah,
so
that guy's
sick.
cool. That's really cool.
Let's get a real hit now.
Yeah,
That's
Matt.
Chase of the other channel appearing at the skill check channel
Yes.
on Charlie's channel.
Yes.
This is Inception. All right, guys, you want to stop fucking around here?
Yeah.
Kabam! Axelrod Gunnarsson.
It's my favorite.
I did not make that up. That's Axelrod Gunnarsson.
Damn it, he's gonna be worthless.
He's an 8-cost Rakdos. He's got trample, 5/5, and each time a creature is placed in a graveyard during a turn in which Axelrod damaged it, you gain 1 life and he does 1 damage to a target creature.
Of
player.
course. Okay. Hammerheim. It's a land.
You think this is repacked? We haven't got
Bloodlust.
anything big yet.
Winds of Change. I think we got $100 Rasputin.
We got a lot of packs to go.
Could be repacked.
Doom.
It's
a
certainty. How long ago did you get this?
Like 6 months ago, probably.
That guy's long gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Danny.
It's go
He skipped
go.
town.
So what's the before I
Tabernacle.
Tabernacle.
what is the price on this box so I know what I'm getting
15K.
into? Oh,
Yeah.
that gets you up in the morning.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a little bit of a. Let's get him in there.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the trick.
Damn it.
Oh, shit.
And now it just changed.
Yeah.
No, nope.
Nope. It's
Wall
garbage.
of Opposition.
Ooh, a wall is the rare. It's tough.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
maybe
bad.
the rare is
Yucky.
the second position.
Yeah, it's actually going to be. Where's your red pile?
Oh, this is a bad repack.
Oh, Lady Orca.
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah,
already.
no, this is definitely repacked. I think.
If Danny can't pull.
Yeah.
Every time we open a box, it blows my mind that magic still exists. Like they
Charlie?
made it through this time.
You get anything?
You want to tell me about the art on this card?
Oh, what the fuck?
That is a nude woman.
It is just a naked
I'll
woman.
tell you about that.
Fully nude woman.
I've seen one of those before.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Oh.
He's bullying the cards.
Oh. That's not
Wait
working.
a minute.
Oh, but it's Boris Devilboom.
Of course.
Woman's a minor.
With an E or an O.
I can pay 4 to put a minor demon token into play.
Holy shit.
Storm Seeker. Mountain Stronghold. These are new.
Yeah.
All right, Drew, take it home.
All right. I reversed my pack like how
Oh,
Ryan
thank
did.
God. I was going to say that was ass.
Bloodlust.
terrible.
Red Mana Battery.
Red Rocket.
Whoa.
You mean like Fallout, right? You're talking about Fallout?
Fallout.
Giant Strength. Dude, what did they do to fuck that guy up so bad?
Well, he's just shit.
Cold of Carekeep.
Oh, it's like the long road or whatever. Where they the shit in the road.
Yeah, the long walk.
Yeah.
Surely it gives us at least a mana drain,
Shadows?
right?
Yeah.
I would
Flash counter?
hope so.
How much is
Turtle?
mana drain worth?
It is 210.
Surely it gives us at least 10 of those,
Do we
right?
have it in
think so.
Archer?
You think we're up to like 500?
Maybe.
Oh, Mountain
probably.
Stronghold and... Oh! Angus McKenzie is a hit.
Is it?
Yes.
260, I think.
All right, we're back.
Angus McKenzie.
We are back. Everyone is cheering because it's worth money, but when you're going to see this in the game, that card just says a person doesn't do combat
Yeah.
damage. This is going
It's
to be
fog.
horrible.
It
what
is
the
fog.
fuck?
Every
Let
turn.
me see. What is it?
Creatures attack and block as normal, but none deal any damage. All attacking creatures are still tapped.
Oh, Divine Intervention! Yes!
How big?
No, it's not. It's not like that. It's an 8-mana enchantment that says put 2 counters on this card. Remove a counter during your upkeep. When you remove the last counter from Divine Intervention, the game is over and considered a draw.
Our first draw.
That's very cool.
I am playing it.
135.
Oh! I forgot I had a pack to my left. Maybe it was sitting to the side.
Oh my god.
The sticky pack.
Oh, All Hallows Eve.
Oh, yes!
That's
I
big.
love that card.
That's really big. I think that's bigger than Angus.
500?
We're back, baby.
I mean, let me just get through here quick. I don't see anything that good.
Yeah.
Sick rare though. Sick.
That's a cool rare.
Dude,
Yeah.
All Hallows Eve is
Huge.
so sick to...
Oh, Nicobolus.
Oh!
You
How
have
many?
to play him.
That's the guy.
How many schmeckles?
About 200.
Woo!
OG Nicol Bolas.
Jesus. Look at those pips.
He's lounging.
2 blue, 2 black, 2 red, 2 generic.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Godspeed.
Not bad. Not a terrible box.
Yeah, but so much
Could
fun.
have been worse. That was cool.
Yeah.
So, if you want to see us play with these cards, you can go over to Skill Check and actually watch us sleeve these make decks, play them, which is crazy. Nobody plays Magic this old.
That's true. It's just us.
for
It's just us.
I'm going to play all planes in Divine Intervention.
Father, Papa, Papa, Dad. All words you might be familiar with to describe the man who helped carry you into this world. Not in his tummy, but in his sack. I call this man Charles Sr. That's my dad. And my father, for the last 2 years, has been working on a car project that I made a video about almost 2 years ago now. A 32 Ford, which is a very special car to him. He built it when he was 16 years old with his dad, but ended up getting an offer he couldn't refuse and sold it. Since then, he's regretted it because it's a very hard thing to find all of the components for to build it again. 2 years ago, he did happen to stumble across a unicorn out there with a 32 that they could restore and basically build, not from the ground up, but, somewhat close to it. Basically, what he wanted to do is recreate that build that he did when he was 16 years old, which was modeled after the American Graffiti 32 Ford. So for 2 years, my dad's been in the shop like fucking Frankenstein here, bringing back to life a monster, this 32 Ford Coupe. He teamed up with his buddy Joe, who has a shop in Orlando, and the two of them together have been working every single week for 2 years now to build the perfect 32 Ford Coupe from the American Graffiti movie. And it's finally complete, and they're very excited to show me, and I'm excited to show you 2 years of work with this 32 Ford.
Well, here we are, Joe. After 2 years, here's our masterpiece. What do you think?
I love it.
Huh?
I'm gonna take you on a tour of it in a moment, but yeah, my dad wanted the garage door reveal. I think he was probably expecting me to do some cinematic edits. He has far too much faith in my editing prowess, so the best you get is just the raw dump here. It looks so good, though. They did an amazing job, and my father was keeping me updated on all of the things him and Joe were doing every step of the way. They really did fundamentally rebuild the car. The only thing that kind of stayed the same from what we initially purchased was the body of the vehicle, but even that got some changes as well. The body is one of the hardest parts to find, as I understand it. I think the body and the chassis were the two things that had the least changes to them, but this was a huge undertaking and they did an amazing job. So it's loud. This puppy zooms too. This will get you around the block, point A to point B lickety split, but it is louder than a motherfucker. And apparently in the version 1.0 they had, it was 10 times as loud, to the point where it probably wouldn't even be street legal because it'd be blowing up eardrums and assholes. So they had to change even more about it, some alterations to quiet it up a little bit so it could actually be driven without just ruining everybody else's day. I don't think I have any footage of that one, but I do have 2 quick videos of it, zooming around and how it sounds after they've changed it. You guys did a great job.
We love it. We got the mana-free intake and the 4 2-barrel carburetors. What is it, Joe? 1968, 327?
68, 327.
So the only thing we didn't do to this 32 Ford, it's all original steel. The only thing we didn't do is chop the top 3 inches like the American Graffiti car, because Joe said, hell no, we ain't touching that car. That body's too nice. Isn't that right,
You're
Joe?
too tall.
Walk over here, Joe.
You're too tall.
My dad is too tall. It makes me sick. He kept all the height for himself and selfishly refused to share any with his only son. Isn't that fucked up? He's 6'5", and look at me.
Joe, show me the interior. Show him what we got.
Well, we moved it. That's my pillow because I'm so short. I can't reach the clutch. But you got to understand, Charlie's 6'5", so we're building a car for a giant. And so we had to have headroom, and we have to have leg room for him. So this is I think it's an original bench seat.
It's the original 1932 Ford bench seat.
And we took the package tray's been removed, and we moved the seat as far back as we can get it so Charlie would feel comfortable. And then we ordered an offset shifter, so it moves the shifter towards the center of the car, basically. And we got blinkers and brake lights and stereo and electric fuel pumps. And
we got a completely powder-coated undercarriage front end. We got old finned brake drums from an old 53 Buick on the front, just like old nostalgia hot rod.
It's got a Ford 9-inch rear end.
Ford 9-inch in it.
It numbered out as a 71 station wagon, which is a heavy-duty Ford rear end.
And we changed the rear gear to 373, so she's got some giddy up.
Yeah.
But this is the finished product right here. So we just wanted to show everybody what
all the gauges work, right, Charlie? Even the fuel gauge works.
Everything's new, wiring harness is new, everything in the car is brand new. And it did take us, 2 years?
Right at 2 years.
Right at 2 years. Yeah, we got a, trunk sole upholster. We got a big old built-in fuel tank right here we made. And car's done now, we're just going to drive it, right, Joe?
Mm-hmm. That's fun with it.
Yeah, that's a mean-looking car right there.
Tell you what.
So the next project is Joe has a 1932 Ford sedan, a chopped sedan that we built. Get over here, Joe.
We built it in 99.
We built that car in 1999. It was a 427 blower motor in that car, and it was so fast, it was scary, wasn't it?
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, I lost control of it twice. So I finally pulled the motor out of it. Then I sold the body. And then I got the body rolling chassis back 13 years later.
Yep.
I saw it 13 years ago it was gone.
Yep.
And so now we're going to put a small block in it and not make it so deadly. We got plans to put it back on the road. It's like this, but it's a sedan. It's a 4-seater instead of a 2-seater.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And it's painted purple.
So that's it. The 32 project's done. That's the update. We'll move on to the next one.
Well, what was the hardest part of the build?
What do you think, Joe? Really, nothing much for me. One of the hardest
things that slowed us down was wiring.
Wiring?
Because him and I are just not good at wiring.
And we haven't done it in so long.
And my brother used to do it, my older brother, but he had some health problems and couldn't do it. So it ended up, my oldest son stepped forward, Dylan, and he wired it from front to back.
The other thing was we took our time, and I was doing a lot of searching on the internet trying to find the original parts that was on the American Graffiti movie car.
Like the bumper.
Like the bumper.
That's cool.
The bumper that's on this car is an original 1973 Alfa Romeo front bumper guard. And that's what was on the American Graffiti coupe that was in the movie. So I actually found one from a guy in Michigan who had one brand new that he never put on his Alfa Romeo that he bought in 1973. And I bought it from him and he shipped it to me. So it's just shit like that we didn't want to rush into it, and we wanted to make it, as cool as we could with all the original.
Then we did a few changes, like the exhaust. When we first started it, God, it was loud.
Oh, yeah.
And Charlie's like, this thing's never going to go in my neighborhood. So we came up with a stainless exhaust idea. If you want to bring that over here, look. And we went through the bottom of the header and brought it in for the exhaust that goes underneath. This is underneath where his shoes are.
These are actually 12-inch muffler turnouts that has a baffle in it.
Yeah.
But it was even so loud with the baffles exhausting right here that I said to Joe, we gotta quieten this thing up. So what we did is we cut a hole in the bottom of the header. We got this crossover pipe going out under the car on each side. And we've got Flowmaster mufflers in the back, and it's actually exhausting out the side, but it looks like it's exhausting right here on the side. It's exhausting out the back. And what we did is we welded a plug inside of this muffler, so it's capped the exhaust off, so it's exhausting out the back. Now, if I ever want to really make noise and really upset everybody,
we can slide them off.
We just pull this exhaust piece right off, and then it's open header from here right on back.
So I said 3 inches, and Charlie said 1 inch, and we settled on 2 inches.
So they're 2 inches.
It's 2 inches out from there.
So we
figured out.
We just took our time.
Kind of compromised and took our time. And
talked about stuff and what we wanted.
Make sure we got everything the way we wanted. Put all new glass and rubber,
everything.
Sandblasted the body,
But it's a real steel car. It's not a plastic car. So, and that's it. That's the update.
What about the, I remember you told me American Graffiti had what was it? Motorcycle fenders or some shit?
In the front.
Yeah. You guys did the same thing.
Yeah. So we found those fenders Joe found them at a motorcycle shop. And we made brackets for them, and it's exactly the same.
Yeah, we got pictures of the original car, and Charlie and I were talking about the brackets. I wanted to paint the brackets black, and Charlie's like, no, the originals were yellow. And so he sends me a picture of the original American Graffiti car, and the brackets are yellow. So we painted them yellow. We're trying to go, and we did not cut down the grill shell. We didn't like that look either.
No, when they chopped the top 3 inches, they chopped the grill shell
3 inches.
And this is our steel grill shell, original grill shell. We're not going to cut that either, so that's why the car's a big height. And I'm tall, and I need the headroom anyway, so it's like it's more comfortable to drive,
Yeah, you wouldn't have fit in it if you chopped the top at all.
No, we real tight.
We built a Model A years ago, a 31, and we chopped the top on it, and it was yellow. Charlie pulls up at a car show like this. It's miserable. He's like, I hate this car. It's so small, I can't drive it. He sold it.
Yeah.
And so then we knew then that there's no way he can drive in a chopped top car and be comfortable.
No. So anyway, well, there you go, Joe. On to the next one, brother.
That's right.
Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
It's really cool to see the 2 years of work paying off here with something very special and so meaningful, not only to my dad, but to Joe. As I mentioned in one of the other videos with the 32 progress, Joe has a business called Joe's Paint and Body in Ocoee that's been there for 42 years, and he is still working every single day, hard as fuck, but would still find time every week to spend hours on this 32 with my dad. The two of them just back in the saddle again, back in the mega mix, because it is something that meant so much to them both. And they were both very excited by it. So I'm really happy, and they really were excited to show all of you that it's complete and how it looks. I don't have a ton of videos of it running, but I think it's going to be getting quite a workout here in the hands of my dad here. He is so happy to have this 32 back. I think it's just super cool, and I just wanted to share all of this with you now that the project is complete and they're on to the next one. So yeah, anyway, that's really about it. See ya. That's what it would sound like if I was being drained by a Dementor. Also just now realized that this is pretty zoomed in. You weren't meant to see Charles that up close and personal. Netflix just bought Warner Bros. 82.7 billion clams. That is disastrous. I think it's terrible. You saw the news as well? That's right. Netflix now owns Warner Bros. Can you believe that shit? I know. That was the last thing I was expecting to. What are you celebrating for? No, this is bad. Hey, you're preaching to the choir. I'm not excited about it either. Yeah, well, your sister seems to think it's not that big a deal. You tell her, not me. Had a long discussion on stream about it. We are entering the era where a few companies will own literally everything. And some people are actually welcoming it with open arms and open cheeks, trying to preach about like why it's actually good for consumers for monopolies to exist. Which is crazy that we've reached this point, but there is so much corporate cocksucking now, it's become like very common, that people will actually argue against their own interests here in the market. Now, we are seeing this happen in pretty much every sector, where some of the giants, the Goliaths in the industries, will buy up some of the other behemoths. So that way they become one absolute mega corporation, which owns so much of it. So it makes it a less competitive space, which means there is less incentive for these companies to listen to consumers and make quality products because you're not going anywhere anyway. They have everything. It's a bad deal for your average Joe Schmo because the companies will be financially butt-fucking you with no remorse because what are you going to do about it? They have all of the other products. Like, it's bad. The only rare exception, the only unicorn in this objective truth is Steam, which I just made a whole video on, where Steam does have a de facto monopoly on PC gaming. It just has so much of the market on PC gaming. But it's not because it ever, performed any monopolistic tactics or anything like that. it got that position because it is literally just the best at what it does. All of the other options, all of the competitors are just significantly shittier, scummier, and a worse deal for consumers, so people willingly just choose Steam. Even though there is competition, most people flock to Steam because it is just the actual best. But on the whole, monopolies are very bad for you and me and everybody else. Now, in the case of Netflix specifically, I am shocked anyone is pumping their fist about it. That makes no sense to me, considering the quality of Netflix originals is so all over the place, but I would argue mainly bad. Like, you will get fucking 5 seasons of Big Mouth, irredeemable trash, coupled with a lot of other Netflix originals you've probably never heard of for every one good show that they put out. Like, you are mostly getting fed fucking poop ass. And yet, now Netflix will have even more IPs to deliver that level of stink with. It's not good, really. Like, there's nothing to really look forward to there, unless Netflix has a huge come-to-Jesus moment and a huge shift in priorities, where instead of, like, trying to fart out as much trash as they can muster from their colon, they instead focus on, like, using these IPs for quality projects, but I don't see that happening. I don't think Netflix is a buyer that anyone should have any real optimism for all of the crazy amount of IP Warner Bros. Has under their umbrella, which Netflix now has unlimited access to. Warner Bros., of course, I mean, they're no stranger to trash. They have been in a bad spot for many years now. They have been producing a lot of garbage, too. So it's not to say like Warner Bros. Is ruined. They've done a fine job of that themselves with how much trash they've had recently. But Netflix, I don't think is going to make it any better. Like, I don't think they're going to steer the ship more effectively or anything. Like, it sucks. And it's just a sign of the times where now we are going to continue to see giants buying up other giants, so then everything will be owned by a couple of corporations in each sector, which is bad. Like, that is a horrible thing, really. But anyway, let me show you some of the stream clips of me yapping about it, because I was really getting into the spaghetti and the meatballs of it. You think Netflix buying Warner Bros. Is a good or bad move? Oh, I hate it. I super hate it. But this is the way the world is going, where a couple of companies are going to own everything in sectors. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. An $82.7 billion acquisition. I also think this is now not the first, but the largest step in the death of movie theaters. Obviously, with Netflix owning Warner Bros., the movies are going to be hitting Netflix. I can't imagine they're going to be investing heavily into like a theater experience. So I think movie theaters are probably going to start being phased out over the next decade or so. Which makes me pretty upset because I really like the movie theater experience. But it's just never going to be able to compete with the convenience of seeing the new movies from your own home. Everyone's going to choose that now anyway, especially with Netflix going to most likely be putting all the Warner Bros. Releases on streaming instead of in theaters. So I struggle to think of any positives. Chatter that mentioned that now Netflix owns the Nemesis system, which is a video game patent that Warner Bros. Had fucking kegeled for the last decade and done nothing with. The Nemesis system is from Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor. Really, really fun gameplay mechanics. Love it. People have been wanting it for years. Warner Bros. Does nothing with it. Netflix owning it means it'll probably never see the light of day, because Netflix just canned their entire gaming division only a year ago. So you're not ever going to see the Nemesis system and anything gaming adjacent that Warner Bros. Has had. They probably won't be doing anything with, would be my guess. It's such a shame. Yeah, everything becoming Netflix original is bleak. To be fair, we were never going to see it anyway. I know. I'm not stupid enough to think that if Warner Bros. Stayed out of Netflix's paws, we'd somehow get a game with the Nemesis system. They had just canceled the Wonder Woman one anyway. I know. They're 100% still going to do Mortal Kombat, but that's probably it. I think definitely Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat's not going anywhere. I think there's going to be a handful of legacy IP that Netflix will absolutely still produce. Because they print money. Like Mortal Kombat. Even the more weak entries into the franchise is still an absolute cash cow. Netflix is definitely going to keep pumping Mortal Kombat games. And Warner Bros. Has so many juggernaut IP that I have to imagine Netflix will keep pumping. Like, they have the gaming rights to Harry Potter. They have, like, the DC gaming rights as well, if I remember correctly. So they're going to keep pumping those. 100%. They're buying WB Games as well. It's everything Warner Bros., right? From what I was reading, they own literally everything Warner Bros. Owns, unless I've got incorrect information. It's an $82.7 billion acquisition. I'm so fucking excited. It must be kind of cool living life with that mentality. Like, oh, I watch Witcher on Netflix. I like that. And now Netflix owns Warner Bros. I get to watch everything there too now? Yippee! That's gotta be so cool. To just be able to do that. Please, Netflix, make a new season for Young Justice. Yeah, I'm sure Netflix will be able to make some quality products. Now, don't get me wrong. I have poo-pooed on Warner Bros. For a long time. Zaslav is a fucking moron. That guy is an actual homunculus. And Warner Bros. Have been spiraling for a minute. But you're crazy if you're trying to convince yourself that Netflix is somehow going to steer the ship better. But I'd love to be wrong. I would love if Netflix proved me wrong. I'll tell you that much. I would be very excited if they actually did good things with everything Warner Bros. Has. Honestly, Netflix monopoly means everything in one place. That just makes me sick to read. Oh my god. That actually just makes me sick to read. Oh, fuck me. Yuck. Netflix $79.99 a month with ads. At least it's all in one place, though. Will HBO and Netflix merge? My guess would be no. I would think with this acquisition, they will continue to have HBO Max as a separate entity from Big Brother Netflix. That would be my guess. Because they get to have their cake and eat it too. Because maybe an HBO Max subscriber isn't a Netflix subscriber. I don't know why they would even take the chance of, like, trying to combine forces there. Keep them separate. You get the double dip. Leading rumor is that Netflix is going to give Warner Bros. A 2-week theatrical release for all their movies before they hit streaming. Oh my god. And today, Netflix CEO said release windows will evolve to be shorter, so the rumor is likely true. Let me see that. I didn't see that statement from the Netflix CEO. 2-week theater run. Oh my god. Oh my god. Here it is. Yeah. Ted says Netflix committed to Warner Bros. Theatrical releasing as Cinema Trade Group calls merger unprecedented threat. We've released about 30 films into theaters this year, so it's not like we have this opposition to movies in theaters. My pushback has been mostly in the fact of the long exclusive windows, which we don't really think are that consumer friendly. He said, AMC and other chains are looking to reestablish a 30 or 45-day window to energize movie-going that dwindled during COVID. Biggest chains often won't run Netflix films with truncated windows. The entertainment community and movie theaters in particular have been immensely jittery at this corporate combination given the streamer's short window, if any, as they cater to their streaming audience. Exhibition's biggest trade group, Cinema United, came out with a blunt statement this morning opposing the merger, saying, the proposed acquisition of Warner Bros. By Netflix poses an unprecedented threat to the global exhibition business. I mean, he's not wrong. The negative impact of this acquisition will impact theaters from the biggest circuits to one-screen independents in small towns in the United States and around the world. Cinema United stands ready to support industry changes that lead to increased movie production and give consumers more opportunities to enjoy a day at the local theater, but Netflix's stated business model does not support theatrical exhibition. In fact, it's the opposite. Regulators must look closely at the specifics of this proposed transaction and understand the negative impact it will have on consumers, exhibition, and the entertainment industry. Yep, so, okay, looks like they will be putting them in theaters for a very short period of time. Then to streaming. Do we know if they own Cartoon Network Studios, and Adult Swim, or does Discovery own it? I've seen tweets saying confusing things regarding it. Again, as I understand it, they own everything that was under the Warner Bros. Umbrella, so that includes things like Cartoon Network and shit like that. Again, that's just what I was reading. I could be wrong. It's all pretty fresh. I did read, though, that they might not have all the cable assets. And if that's the case, then they wouldn't have Cartoon Network, I don't think. But again, it's still a little too fresh, not entirely sure. Shows on them might get canceled. I'm gonna tell you something. The shows on Cartoon Network are probably safer outside of the clutches of Zaslav. That man had been axing shows left and right. Cartoons, it was just a matter of time before that shit was thrown in the trash. That man was cutting shit left and right, front and center, day and night. So, there's plenty of problems you can point out. That is not really one of them. That guy had an absolute hate boner for anything animated. I'll tell you, anything animated is probably safer outside of his hands. What if they bring back Courage? I would fucking hate if Netflix brought back Courage. That shit would be so awful. I have no faith in Netflix, of all people, to make Courage, a new Courage that is still faithful to the vibe and the heart of the original. They'd have the big mouth animators work on it. Oh! Ugh. God, even just the thought of that. You saw Paramount is planning to do a hostile takeover bid for Warner Bros. Because I think their deal is better than Netflix. No, is Paramount trying to fight? They hopping in the Thunderdome to buy Warner Bros? Let me see. Oh yeah, 5 hours ago. Paramount could go hostile for Warner Bros. Discovery after losing to Netflix. What's their strategy? Just put more money on top? Paramount was bested by Netflix on Friday in its efforts to buy Warner Bros. Discovery, but it may still appeal directly to Warner Bros. Shareholders through a hostile takeover offer. Why it matters. Paramount could argue that its all-cash bid of $30 a share is better in terms of both price and likelihood of regulatory approvals, although it would need to disclose more information about its debt financing. Both Netflix and Warner Bros. Discovery executives are confident they'll receive the necessary sign-offs for their deal. We've signed our deal, and we are running full speed towards regulatory approval, Netflix CEO Ted said. Netflix only agreed to buy Warner Bros. Studio and streaming assets for a combination of cash and stock after cable networks are spun out in a separate company. Paramount's offer was for the entire business. Okay, so this is confirmed then. So then Netflix is not getting their cable assets. A source close to Paramount said the company, which didn't have visibility into Netflix's offer until Friday morning, legitimately thinks it made the best bid and is currently exploring next steps. An operative word is patience. Cringe. Paramount also thinks its offer could look even better when the Comcast cable network spinoff begins trading later this month. It would serve as a market comparison to Warner Bros. Discovery stuff that Netflix will leave behind. Paramount's lawyers have questioned the fairness and adequacy of the sale process, which kicked off after Paramount already had submitted 3 unsolicited offers. In a letter to the board, Paramount said the auction was tainted by management conflicts, including certain members of management's potential personal interests in post-transaction roles and compensation as a result of the economic incentives embedded in recent amendments to employment arrangements. That just sounds like fucking gobbledygook from Sore Loser there. It underscored concerns of board director bias towards a Netflix bid without considering heightened regulatory risk and potential value of a full bid versus a partial asset bid. That's a who cares moment, I would say, if you're on like the Netflix board, if you're more biased, or if you're on the Warner Bros. Board, if you're more biased towards Netflix, I guess. Not illegal to prefer Netflix over Paramount. Unless there is some kind of, like, legality to it, which I would be surprised. Worth mentioning, Paramount received help from Saudi Arabia for their bid. What? No! That's impossible. No matter who wins this bid, we all lose. Yeah, I know, that's what we were talking about. It's not a good thing.
What's up, everybody? It's Critical. I'm playing Ash's Cricket 2013 for the PC. Let's do this shit. I've been playing this for right around 3 hours now. I still don't understand the controls, nor do I understand this sport. But I've managed to get 2 outs, and I think I got like 3 points. I don't know what that means, but out of 3 hours of gameplay, I'm assuming that's quite a spectacle. I've lowered the entire rating of my starting lineup to the lowest it can possibly go, so let's see what happens here. Throw some heat! Oh yeah, look at that speed! It's blistering!
Well struck there.
Oh, nice fielding, catch! Yes! Extraordinary fielding, gentlemen. Keep up the good work. Alright, let's get him with another Lardest, you son of a bitch. Get him with some more. Here we go. Max power. Oh, shit! I'm surprised he didn't explode. Lardison doesn't even give a shit, though. Look at his face. That's the face of a stone-cold killer. No ball. You're damn right, no ball. It's embedded in that man's stomach. Don't even try to find an exit wound. It was indeed a free hit. He didn't even see it coming. Let's keep the top spinner. It's working for us so far. Max power again. Take this, bitch. Lucky hit. Ooh. Extraordinary catch, number 33. Welcome to ESPN's top 10. Damn. Oh, fuck. What now? Of course, no ball. For 3 hours now, this golfer's just been standing here calling no ball left and right. Every time I throw the damn thing, he calls no ball. I don't know what it means. Am I pitching right? Am I pitching left? Right, left, right, left? I'm pitching right, you bastard. Oh, I caught him off guard now. Enjoy the noisy cricket. Oh, what the fuck? Is that a phantom on my team? It went right through 66. Either you two want to get that? Alright, no. Alright, he's got it. Good. At least someone has a sense of urgency on this team. Did he eat the ball? What happened? Oh, there it is. Nice catch. From the... Oh! Just surveying the field like any professional would do. You got to keep 360 degrees awareness, ladies and gentlemen. The meat grinder formation. This just isn't fair anymore. I'm going to win no problem. I can't lose. This is just going to be too easy. But I need an easy victory. I just want to win a cricket match. My troops are in the taking a shit position. We can't fail. There we go. Worked like a charm. What happened to the ball, though? Where the fuck is the ball? No, no ball. It was never there to begin with. What was I thinking? It was just a magic trick, an illusion. What I've really been throwing is my patience. Because I've been sitting here for 3 hours playing Ashes Cricket 2013. And I'm having a blast. Nice catch, number 24. Why exert any effort when you can just will the ball to your hand? It's fantastic. You've lost your mind. You have absolutely lost your marbles. You can lasso and throw your rope around all you want, whatever the fuck you're doing with your hands. I just don't believe you. These are legitimately good plays I'm making, and you seem to discredit them. It's ridiculous. Oh, there you go. Now you're interfering. Fuck me, jeez. Interfering with the game. You caught the ball that time, ref. I watched you. Oh, and that ball's there. That's not a no ball. You're holding it, therefore the ball exists. You're the gate between the real world and imagination. Of course, this dude cranks a fucking home run on me. Oh, shit! Where'd this guy come from? I put all my players in the infield. That must just be a spectator that hopped on the field to help me out. Just what the doctor ordered. Can you handle the fastest bowling in the East? Eat this, you shitter of wax. Damn it. And go get it, 66 and friend. We're having a little race between two teammates here. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Oh, neither of them got the ball. Speaking of ball, Mr. No Ball's on his high horse again. Oh shit, 4. A little different than just no ball. Doing a little one-arm sprinkler thing with his hand. I welcome the little change up there. I don't know why he's calling 4. We're not playing golf and no one was in danger of getting hit by a ball. But at least it's something a little bit different, which is encouraged here. Oh shit! Damn it! A little rematch here between the two friends. Not gonna know who wins because the camera angle's fixated on 99's ass. Goodness fucking me! Number 24 nearly had his head taken off. The ball went right through his throat. What are you doing, number 15? Number 15's just telling me a secret. Alright, here we go, here we go. It's a new ball game out here. It's called Lights Out Bowling. Take that! You stuck-up prick. That pitch wasn't good enough for you? Didn't even want to try for it? That's fine. Just stand there frozen in time. I don't give a shit. The ref's rubbing his pelvis all over my right ass cheek, giving it a little massage. You're standing there like a statue. This certainly isn't the game of cricket I thought it'd be. Nice catch, number 7. You know what? Let's show him what cricket's really about, number 7. Give me the fucking rock. Give me that ping pong ball, 7. Oh, wide. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That was absolutely wide. Super duper wide. Wider than the vagina of Zeus's wife, Hera. Oh, here we go. Let's throw some heat. Let's throw some fucking heat. Look at the speed on that. Well, that's a high flyer. Yep, that one is out of the park. At least we have one person determined to catch it. You go, dude. Well, what's this? No ball, of course. I don't even know why I asked. I really don't. At least there's 4 again. I really don't know what that hand signal is. It's like he's patting children on the head, then slapping all of them across the face. I dare you to give me your best bowl. If you hear noises outside late at night, it's probably a horde of crickets! Fuck me. I missed the ball. Damn it, I'll just stand here stunned in disbelief. Stretching in disbelief. You know what, I've fucking had it with this bullshit. I'm walking the fuck out of here. As soon as I have the ability to... There we go. I'm walking the fuck out of here. That was a good hit. I don't know why it didn't connect. Actually, I want to get a piece of this, bitch! Take that, sack of shit. Alright, yeah, I'm just posing for the cameras here, that's all. That's all. Yep. Excellent. I could honestly be cutting individual letters out of a newspaper, then throwing all of that off a building and be having more fun than I am right now. But you know what? I'm still gonna get a fucking home run right here. Give it to me! Show me what you have! Ref, he hit me. Ref, yep, I'm charging the bowler's mound at my own pace. I'll be there soon enough. I'm angry and I'm charging you. I'm approaching you with violent intent. If I'm walking through a field of uncut grass, I'm bound to see a cricket. Here you go. Oh shit, shit! What? Oh shit! We're celebrating, I did something right. Out. Holy fucking goodness. One day is right. One day is today. I got the out today, and it is the only day I will ever get an out. Today is that one day. Holy shit. Alright. Oh, I'm done playing this. That was exciting. Well, that's the end of this video. Remember to rate the video, comment the video, and subscribe if you want to see videos similar to this one. See ya. I feel like I'm playing an old DOS-box game.
I can't believe how huge they are.
This is a fetish.
At the height of the slipper.
God, imagine what Stuart Little saw, am I right?
Fascinating.
I'm leaving this a like. Oh, this ASMR is tingly.
Dangerous.
Woo! Oh god, he's getting in there. He's fucking splunking.
Into the towway.
Now what?
Now what am I gonna do?
You gotta huff those precious fumes. It's the only option. I have no doubt in my mind this guy graduated with some type of film degree, and this is how he uses his talent. But man, think of where these shoes have been, the stories they tell, the feat they've seen. It's worth it. Oh no.
I think she's coming.
Good lord.
I'm gonna have to stay at the very end here.
Honey, I shrunk the feet.
Too dangerous.
Catch your foot. Oh god, no.
Trapped in here.
No, it can't end this way.
I won't be able to get.
Activate Wumbo.
Oh man.
Is he coming?
So powerful.
Oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, whoa.
Whoa.
Oh. Whoa. Which one of you cowards just came in my pants? This is like some kind of deranged Lego movie, but real live action.
My opportunity.
Whoa! We've entered an airfield. Jump! Man, Joaquin Phoenix really commits hard to his roles. First Joker, now this. Oh, you can't climb that. No one's ever been able to climb that slipper wall.
He climbed.
He's doing it!
And clung on to the material.
Sticking in the realm of Batman references, it's just like when Bane escaped. Talia al Ghul spoilers. Holy shit.
He got near the top, however.
Where do you think you're going?
No! He was so close, that blood-curdling scream. Fuck me, this audio mixing is haunting.
Wow, that ever awesome. Onto her giant socked foot.
He's doing it!
Out.
The hero!
But he had to be very careful that he was not caught.
Well, it's not very careful there. You're just kind of strolling out there.
Squish him down
oh god, oh fuck, it's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
it's fraught with danger.
Yep, your old friendly neighborhood foot fetishist Spider-Man.
There, he thought he was free. Free at last.
It's like those old Mortal Kombat characters.
Get away from his.
What will Tiny Husband do next? How many feet must he fight till he's finally free?
And why doesn't his wife realize that her husband has shrunk himself down? Well, we do have a little more. Tiny husband in the toy car. Seems like a direct sequel. Tiny husband, I think there's something wrong with your car. It sounds like spaghetti being twirled by hand. Tiny husband, judging by the sound, I think your car's about to get brain freeze. To be fair, I couldn't make this. The editing is too much for me. But I'm glad Tiny husband was able to pull it off so convincingly. God, his wife is such a bitch. Doesn't she know her husband likes to shrink himself down and play with the Hot Wheels cars? Get the fuck out of there, Tiny husband, she's onto you. Kick that shit into the 4th gear. No! Is that pantyhose? Oh god, she hung herself. This is a weird shot. What's happening? Is the Lord summoning her to heaven? Well, I guess it's an open-ended ending. Up to the viewer's imagination as to what happened to Tiny Husband next. In my mind, he enlarges himself again and makes sweet love to his wife. The algorithm's got me by the sack right now. It's holding my peepers open, Clockwork Orange style, feeding me videos of horrible drivers now. I made 2 videos recently, one with that lady that wouldn't stop texting and driving and then crashed her rented car, and then one about the guy who wouldn't stop drinking and driving and crashed his car multiple times. And because I watched both of those videos, now I'm getting fed tons just like it. And I can't resist yapping about 2 of them in particular. This first one here is despicable. This guy should 100% lose his license forever. He should never be allowed behind the wheel of a vehicle ever again.
Doesn't mean moving in the truck, but I don't think he'll say, hey, Al, I need to move in the truck, or not, I gotta go, or anything like that.
Crash detected.
Oh my god, dude, I just fucking wrecked Israel's truck, dude.
911 assist.
Oh my god!
A 911.
Oh my god! Oh my god, dude! Holy Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh!
This guy's acting like a toddler in the backseat of his parents' car. He just has both hands glued to his tablet. Allegedly, according to the post title, he was playing Candy Crush on it. I don't know if that's confirmed. It could have been Clash Royale. Maybe he was trying to get some Robux or something. Who's really to say? But what's very clear is he is not looking up at the road at all. This isn't even distracted driving. It is the act of not driving. He is fundamentally just behind the wheel of a missile right now because he doesn't even look at the road a single time. He is just completely fixated on that tablet. And apparently it's not even his truck in the first place. He has turned this vehicle into a weapon. He is not operating at all. He just has his foot on the gas, fucking plowing straight forward come hell or high water. He is just playing on his tablet the whole time. This is like, I guess, what happens when an iPad kid gets their driver's license. I don't know. This is scary stuff, though. He truly should never be allowed to operate a vehicle again. I'd even go a step forward. He should never even be behind the wheel of anything that resembles a vehicle again. Like even those like electric toy cars that toddlers ride around in, he shouldn't be allowed to touch one of those. He shouldn't even be allowed on a fucking scooter. And I don't even mean just an electric scooter. I mean even just like a push-powered razor scooter he shouldn't even be behind. So he crashes this truck that, again, doesn't even belong to him. And he doesn't even seem to care that he just hit another car, which has human beings in it. At no point does he ever even express any concern for their well-being. Instead, he just keeps reiterating, like, how bad it is for him. And then he starts, like, playing Bop It with every single thing he can find in the truck. Like, he just starts, like, fondling every single thing in that vehicle's cabin. I don't know if he was trying to fish around for the tablet because he can't be separated from it. That's probably what he was doing. He was probably desperately looking for that tablet. But you can hear him talking to somebody on the phone, and he just doesn't even seem to care that he may have just potentially killed people there. He is just only focused on, like, oh, jeepers, zoinks. I just wrecked Israel's car here. Oh, goodness gracious. Shucks. What a shame. This one made me furious. I don't know how it's possible someone would do what he did. Both hands off the wheel, staring deeply into a tablet like it's a fucking crystal ball that you're trying to see the future with. Anyway, I'll stop yapping about that douchebag. The next one here is a viral one. As far as, like, bad, distracted drivers go that I've covered recently, like with the woman who wouldn't stop texting, the guy who wouldn't stop drinking, this guy that wouldn't stop playing mobile games on his tablet, she is not in that category. She was filming an Instagram reel for Hit Me Baby One More Time and then crashed.
Hit me, baby, one more time!
So apparently the car slid on the gravel and then flipped over like this. And it came right after her saying, "Hit me baby one more time." So it was pretty crazy circumstances there. Now I don't know if there's a longer clip that exists, like how distracted she was with the recording here. Like if she was doing like a full-blown fucking music video here for Hit Me Baby One More Time, her karaoke version of it. But she doesn't seem to be, like, overly focused on the phone. She glanced at it briefly, so it doesn't seem like it's to the level of, like, some streamers who are, like, reading chat and donations and shit and not paying attention. Though, I do think just don't record while driving. That's the simplest, most obvious solution here. Just don't do things that distract you while driving, like fucking filming Instagram reels and TikToks and shit behind the wheel. It's just not worth endangering your life and the life of everyone else on the road. When I was younger, my perspective on it was a little different, so I filmed like a couple of like rant videos while driving a long time ago. And nowadays, I just wouldn't do that. I was under the impression that as long as you're paying attention to the road, who really cares if it's being filmed as well? But I wouldn't do that anymore these days. It's just not worth the risk at all. Just pay attention to the road. Now, she caught a lot of shit from people for grabbing her phone after the crash, like, oh, look at this generation. They just have to get to their phone first thing to do after a crash. Typical. I personally find that take a little silly. Because I don't know how many of you have been in accidents, but it's a very panic-inducing affair. And typically, once you make sure you're safe, or if you got involved in an accident with others, you make sure other people are safe, the first thing you do is call for help. Like, in this case, it seems she recognized it was a single-car accident, so after she, like, came to, the first thing she does is reach for her phone, presumably to call for help. Meanwhile, people were clowning on her, saying like, oh, look, she had to make sure she posted her reel before doing anything else, when I don't think that was the case at all. I don't think the first thing she scrambled to do after being upside down in her vehicle was try and post the clip for some internet updates. I imagine she tried to get the phone to call for help. So I don't think this was like a really odd reaction to what happened here from her to like grab at her phone or something. Again, most people are going to call 911 in an emergency, which this is. I don't know. Maybe that's a hot take for me. I couldn't tell you. Anyway, though, just wanted to blabber about this. That's about it. See ya. Whoa there, Buster. That's a flag on the play. 5-yard penalty. Unnecessary frowning. Let's try and fix that attitude now, shall we? There is a game that just came out a few days ago that's got everyone smiling, it seems, to the tune of over 550,000 concurrent players at its peak. Slay the Spire 2. I've pumped about 12 hours directly into the ass of this game, and I've only just now scratched the surface. It is content rich, so much meat on the bones, and for only $22, I think it is. Let me double check. We have technology right at my fingertips. I can't remember if it's $22 or $25. And it looks like it is $25, which I think is a great deal because for the price of a single Big Arch burger from McDonald's, you can instead get well north of 12 hours worth of content. In 12 hours, I have only just now completed a run with the 5 main characters: Ironclad, Silent, Regent, Necrobinder, and Defect. So 12 hours, and I have completed one run with each of these 5 characters, so I've completed 5 total runs in 12 hours, which is fucking nothing. That's basically completing the tutorial for each of these characters. Like, I'm through the introduction on each of these characters, more or less. I'm only just now getting to my Ascensions, which, if you're not familiar with Slay the Spire, Ascension is what you do after you complete your first base run going through the 3 acts. There is so much content. So I think it's a great price point for how much content you get. And I know I've kind of already whole hog, both cheeks out, dove into like my impressions of the game thus far. It's very positive. I think the game is extraordinary. And that's probably no surprise to any of you that follow my gaming channel, which all of you should be following the gaming channel, Moist Critical Gaming. I've got numerous videos up for Slay the Spire 2. I am loving it. So I wanted to give you my review of the game after 12 hours so far, because a lot of people are seeing the headlines about how popular this game is and how much it's been, going ballistic out there and wondering, well, is the game good? Does it live up to the hype? And I'm here to tell you that, yes, I think it does live up to the hype. I really think this is something very special. If you played the first Slay the Spire, you know exactly what you're going to be getting in Slay the Spire 2, but everything is improved. The visuals, I also really like the new characters. Regent and Necrobinder, I think, are extremely fun with very, very cool mechanics. A lot of the cards have been improved. I think they've done a great job with Slay the Spire 2 across the board. There's nothing in here I think was like fumbled or lessened. I think everything has only been heightened and has been made even better. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with Slay the Spire, I'll go ahead and lay the groundwork here, the foundation here, hit you with the foreplay. It is a deck-building roguelike game, which I know in the current landscape are a dime a dozen. You can go on Steam right now and dumpster dive, finding 40 of those bitches released over the last 2 weeks. Roguelikes have become the new wave, the new hotness, and I know everything is ham-fisting roguelike mechanics into everything, but Slay the Spire is like the OG deck-building roguelike that blew up many moons ago, and the sequel, I think they carry that momentum and show why they're still like the best in the business when it comes to this genre. I really think they nail the formula, and there's just no other game I think that does it this well. I think Slay the Spire is to deck-building games what boobies are to happiness. The GOAT. Now, if you know nothing about deck building games, deck building roguelikes or anything, I'll just break it down to the bare bones. You will choose a character, and each character plays vastly different from one another. They have access to different cards, and they utilize different mechanics. And they also have a different starting relic, and relics are something that you collect throughout your runs to try and juice your shit in order to gear your build the way you'd like it to go, or, all kinds of different things. There are just so many different variations. There are so many different cards and combinations and strategies. It is just endlessly replayable. You go through Act 1, 2, and 3, killing a bunch of enemies, which will give you other cards. You'll have potions that you can utilize in the middle of combat. You'll get relics, and you will always be changing your build around. No runs ever really play the same, even if you try and do like the same thing. For example, if you're playing Necrobinder and you want to laser focus on Doom, you will never have like the same Doom run every single time, because the relics will always change. The cards you get will always change. The enemies you encounter will change. It's just so fucking fun. There is just endless depth to this game, and I can easily see this being like hundreds of hours to like really min-max everything and just fully fucking complete everything this game has to offer. In Slay Spire 1, A20, Ascension 20 was like the max challenge there. I'm not deep enough into Slay the Spire 2 to know if that's still the case here. Maybe there's even more, I'm not sure. I'm trying to do most of this blind because I think it's much more enjoyable to go in there and like fully just have things, fucking golden shower on top of you as fresh as they can be. So I've been really enjoying like learning everything through trial and error, discovering things. It's been so fun, and I am only just now at like the very tippity top of the surface here of how much content this game has. I'm playing it daily for multiple hours a day. It's so good. So I truly do think Slay the Spire 2 lives up to the hype. I know this was many years in the making. It was worth the wait. $25 for this much content, I think, is a great price point. I love to see things like that. I know I glazed and commended Hollow Knight Silksong for something very similar, where you get so many hours of content for a low price compared to like AAA games, where you'll pay like $70 or, Lord help us, God forbid, but unfortunately even $80 sometimes for like a 6-hour game or something, right? Like, I think this is just so refreshing. It's super nice and also very simple. It's a game you can enjoy with your friends. Slay the Spire 2 has multiplayer. I just tried it for the first time last night with my buddy Ryan, but it has, I think, 4-player co-op. So you can have a run with your friends too. And they scale it up so that way it's not just like a full-blown fucking steamroll. Like, there is a challenge to it. Granted, of course, since there's more of you, there is more flexibility, so you probably will have an easier time, like if you're struggling by playing solo. I know a lot of new players have found it kind of punishing, which it is, and I appreciate that. I think it's a good thing. It doesn't hold your hand and put the training wheels on or clobber you with sock'em boppers. It's giving you the raw, knuckle sandwich, and I think that's wonderful, and it will enable you to get better over time as you keep doing runs and figuring out better synergies and what cards work for what builds. It is just a game that I think is just a joy, start to finish. And like I said, the multiplayer is like a really nice cherry on top because playing with friends is a lot of fun. I had a great time playing with Ryan, and I imagine it's even better playing it in a fucking 4-stack. I bet that goes ballistic. I don't have any real complaints. Like, there's nothing in the game that I was like disappointed by. I will say that there are some cards in here that are utterly useless, just pure poop ass. Like, you will never take them in a run, and if you do, you will feel like an idiot for it. There are just some genuinely awful, terrible cards in here that I think could use a little, sprucing up, a little tuning on. But for the most part, I think they do a good job with all of the cards having a place and a role to serve and a function. Some cards obviously are much better than others, but yeah, that's always going to be the case. There's always going to be some cards that need a little tweaking, balancing, but I think just off rip here, they've done a really good job balancing things. Silent, I believe, is probably the strongest character in the game right now, but even then, I don't really think it's busted. Like, I don't think there's anything about Silent that makes it just like a complete cakewalk every single time. Like, you still need to activate neurons. It doesn't play itself. So, like, I have no problem with that being like the best character right now, and I still think it's in a good state overall in terms of balance. So I'm very happy with Slay the Spire 2. I'm really happy to see that it's doing so well right now. Over 500,000 concurrent players at peak is amazing. That's an incredible accomplishment, and I'm glad to see it holding so strong. Still over 200,000 players every single day. That's great. Hats off to the team. They knocked it out of the park. I just wanted to give you this little review as I continue to play through it, and of course post more of my runs on the Moist Critical Gaming channel. And really, that's about it. So, yeah. Oh, thanks for stopping by. Welcome to the Smile booth. Can I take your order? One ear-to-ear grin. Good choice. Coming right up. I want to give you something to actually, like, this isn't even sarcasm. I want to give you something to actually smile about. The biggest charity stream ever is currently going on right now, and the amount of money that it is raising for an organization called Cancer Fighters is extraordinary. It comes from Polish streamers Lotwogang. I'm sure I butchered the pronunciation. I'm so fucking sorry. I don't know how to say it properly. Anyway, 9 days ago, they started a stream to raise money for a charity called Cancer Fighters. You can see that they had a goal of 10,000 zloty, which is roughly 2,700 USD, over the course of the 9 days. What has unfolded is genuinely extraordinary. They went well above that goal. They soared far higher than that, and it became the most successful charity stream ever. As of me making this video right now, the 9 days has just now ended, and I don't want to spoil the surprise for how much they raised, but whatever you're thinking, those are rookie numbers. You're going to need to drastically pump those numbers up. You're going to need to double it, maybe even triple it, because this was the record-breaking charity stream that I genuinely don't think people would ever guess to the amount of money that was raised. It is incredible. This had Polish celebrities, influencers, television stations, everyone coming together not only to watch it, but also to donate and support, the money going directly to children battling cancer through this organization called Cancer Fighters. It became just all of Poland supporting this. And what they have achieved is awe-inspiring.
Poczeć,
To pędzi! Wszyscy razem nie przestajemy, pełna!
Dobrze.
Jaką?
No jaką?
Się nigdzie nie wybieram, ciągle tutaj jestem. Dawaj Maja tego pozera. Ciągle tutaj jestem.
This was a little 6-7 treat here for everyone. 67 million zloty comes out to around 18 million USD that they had raised as of that moment. That's not where it capped out. I just wanted to show you that one because I found it to be kind of wholesome, and also that video right there does kind of explain some of what was going on with the stream. At the time, 550,000 viewers is what the stream was peaking at. And if you thought that's the highest peak it could reach, you'd be a damn fool. You'd be like my pediatrician who predicted that I would cap out at 5'8". Except I didn't reach 5'8". I stopped at 5'6". So you'd be the opposite of my pediatrician, because they kept growing. I stopped growing at 5 foot. They went way above 550,000 concurrent viewers and way above $18 million raised.
Wyrok! Rak to nie 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 wyrok! Zapamiętajcie to, rak to nie wyrok! 200 milionów, ale to jest tylko część tego wszystkiego! Te pieniądze ratują życie! Ratują życie, słuchajcie!
Here's the moment that they hit 200 million zloty raised for cancer fighters, which comes out to right around $55 to $56 million. And they're still not done, by the way. Still only climbing from here. Their stream peaked, from what I was seeing, at 1.6 million concurrent viewers. That number in and of itself is absolutely fucking incredible, but it's even more wild when you look at the population of Poland. Poland has a population, from what I read, about 37 million people. So 1.6 million accounts for a little over 4% of the entire population of Poland was tuning into this stream and raising money for kids battling cancer. And again, from what I read about with this charity and this charity stream, 100% of those donations are going directly to that cause. So it is just an outstanding thing, and it's so incredible to see all of that support. And that brings us to the grand total. It just concluded after the 9 days. The charity stream from Latwo Gang raised over 250 million zloty, which is around $68 million. Amazing. Genuinely amazing. I wanted to yap about this a little bit because I think this is such a positive thing. It started with a goal of $2,500, and it concludes 9 days later over 68 million to help children battling cancer. An amazing stream, an amazing achievement. I just wanted to yap about it a bit. It's really about it. See ya. Did you ever talk to someone about building you a black box to have you play every single console? Yep, Nick's on it. The guy who made our CSGO fucking hydraulic chair. Does he know that the Wii can play GameCube games? It's also easier to trim the motherboard for it as you can get it smaller. Yeah, we were going over it. I told him that, like, there's plenty of efficient ways to do it, but I want it to be, like, absurdly over the top. So we are actually going to make it look like the Hit It Joe Doohickey. That's the idea.
Bang! Hit it, Joe!
So imagine this, but it's got like a whole bunch of like wires and places for cartridges and games to go in. I really like the idea of just having something super outlandish for it. So that'll basically be our black box. That'll play every game ever made. Just plug my shit in, get to use my physical game collection. Now, just to temper expectations, it's not going to be every game console ever. It's going to be the ones I actually have the physical media for. So there's not going to be the Zeebo. There's not going to be the Pippin. It's going to be my physical media collection. If it doesn't have the Ouya, what's even the point? And fuck that. I want to actually use it. When would I ever play anything from the Ouya? Like, conceptually, that's fun, and maybe we'll do, like, a spin-off where it's only every shitty console ever made. But for, like, my actual core black box gaming doodad, I don't need them there. Don't want them there. Will it not have the Magnavox Odyssey 2? Are you even a real gamer? What the fuck is the Magnavox Odyssey 2? Now we're just making up things. Like the Game Sphere.
Computer Golf. Part
Holy
of the
shit.
all-new computer video game Odyssey 2 from Magnavox. Lots of multi-game cartridges. Sports games, football. You've never seen...
Damn, that's so lifelike.
Educational games, Mathemagic, games of chance, blackjack, and much, much more. Odyssey 2, another advancement from Magnavox.
That's pretty cool. Doesn't Magnavox just sell DVD players now? Ain't no way Magnavox is still around. That sounds way too old. The dark story behind America's forgotten electronics giant. How is it a dark story? What happened? Inside Magnavox factory, how Fort Wayne, Indiana amplified America, then fell silent. All the employees got trapped in the games. Fuck. This is, oh my, I can't believe this title's actually worked on me, and now I'm so curious what the fucking dark story could possibly be behind Magnavox. I'll give it 45 seconds to sell me on it.
A machine built by two men most people today have never heard of. That machine would eventually become the backbone of one of the most powerful electronics companies America had ever seen.
That's cool.
A company that put a television in your living room.
Oh, wait, what the fuck? I have one of these. I actually just got one of these. It's not Magnavox, but if they were like the progenitors of it, that's very cool. Wow, were they actually like the first to do it?
Comes from the Latin word.
Are you LARPing as a 20s gangster? Why do you have that? It was actually a gift. My parents got it. They got it for me. They thought it'd be cool. And it is cool. It's one of the refurbished ones, so it's not an original. So they also upgraded the components, so it still does like record playing, but it also has Bluetooth. But it's cool. I think I really like it. So far, there's nothing dark about this story. This is a really cool looking thing here. That just looks like some fucking Bronze Age tech. I love that like retro feel of these type of gizmos. Yeah, it's cool. So far, there's again nothing dark about this story. It's just kind of like the history of Magnavox. Maybe there's some kind of like corporate espionage and fucking murder. Who knows, but so far it's just kind of like the interesting story of Magnavox. Oh yeah, you gotta have the Mattel Hyperscan at least. Is that the one where you'd scan the barcodes and it was little monsters? You do scan cards, but it's like for upgrades.
We got a weird one this time. It doesn't sit very flat on my desk. The AV cable cannot be removed. Connectors cost money, you know. The controller ports use the same connector as an old PC mouse. They've tried to stop you plugging other stuff in by having a flat edge on the connector, but this mouse has got a slim plug on it, so it's just not going to work though. So what is this strange piece of, which way up does it even go?
Hyperscan.
This is a Mattel Hyperscan. Wow, that's a noise. Yeah, alright. Oh, we were loading the loading screen. I was about to say, that loading time wasn't too long. Never mind. Wow, I like that pop at the beginning of the sound. Scan. Three of those are Marvel games. The fourth is Ben 10, and the fifth is Interstellar Wrestling League, which I think was actually made up for the Hyperscan. Let's go for a one-player tournament, and if you only have the disc, this is as far as you can get. It's gimmick time. Cards. The reason why this is called Hyperscan is because you have to scan cards to play the games. When you bought a game for this system, it came with a few game cards so that you could play the game just. But if you wanted more functionality out of the games, you had to buy booster packs of cards.
Oh my god, they were ahead of the curve. If they did this today, TikTok would be going ballistic. Scalpers would be flocking. Oh, Mattel was just a little too early. They were a tad too early. Oh, fuck. They just needed to keep it on ice for a little bit longer. That is the easiest capitalization off the gotcha brain that we have today. Nintendo kind of stole the idea with amiibos. I guess to a certain extent, yeah. Except you literally can't play the game without the cards here, so this is even more egregious and even better for Mattel had they done it in this era where everyone goes ballistic for gacha and cards.
Packs of cards. Mattel knew that trading cards were popular, and they were hoping that if they added trading cards and video games together, they'd make all the billions of dollars. So when you buy a Hyperscan, you get X-Men, and you get 6 cards. 2 characters, 3 attack modifications, and whatever a strength room is. What a strange looking dude. So Mattel was trying to implement a pay-to-play model before keeping your console online all the time was a thing. So which character do we want? Do we want Wolverine, or I've never heard of Lady Deathstrike?
Too early.
Let's go with I've never heard of Lady Deathstrike.
Is it reading it?
Oh,
nice.
It came up. Before I got one of these, I saw online that it was really impossible to actually scan your cards and it only worked 1 in every bajillion times. I figured that that person's Hyperscan was just a bit junk, and if I got my own, it probably wasn't going to be like that. Turns out they're all like that. Player 1 scanner mod. Well, these 2 cards seem to be exactly the same, except one has Wolverine and one has I've never heard of Lady Deathstrike. I wonder if I use the Wolverine one on I've never heard of Lady Deathstrike. Oh, they're exactly the same card. You can scan more than one mod card. Oh, they weren't the same. One of them was better. What's the point in having the other one? Okay, now we got these loading times I heard about. This console stinks of using the cheapest of everything that they could manage to get the product onto the market.
That's not bad. That's a decent load. That's like firing up Rainbow Six Siege every time.
Ooh, what are the buttons? Oh, I got a block. That's not where I wanted to block. Oh, I'm not very good at fighters, but even with that, I feel
pretty cool. 2006, by the way. That was 2006, huh? For reference, Gears of War was already out. That's pretty cool. They cooked. They fucking cooked. Should play this on stream. Someone in chat saying there's an emulator, so maybe... Who the fuck built a Hyperscan emulator? There's always someone that's willing to make that kind of stuff, even for the most unloved, forgotten things. Might not be the case. I think the age of the inventor has already ended. I could not disagree more. Actually could not disagree more. It is... I think we are currently in the Renaissance. Thanks to things like TikTok, people can fucking hawk anything. But if you're talking about like quality inventions, maybe I'll give you that. Hey, don't mean to interrupt, but your significant other asked me to give you a message. It's that you need to improve your hygiene, and really the only way to do that optimally is by going to usecheeky.com and getting some of our soap. The new gen Beyblade is pretty popular now, I believe. Beyblade is popular, man. There's a card shop I go to that has like a pretty strong Beyblade presence. I was so tempted to get some of the blades they had there, or some of the builds they had there. It seems really hype. Like legit, it seems like a lot of fun.
We're jumping into the final match after winning the coin flip.
I don't think Beyblades are like super collectible. You usually just go for like optimized builds or rogue builds, meta. But maybe there is a collecting element to it. I'm not super sure.
And yeah, we got about I'd say we're approaching about 30 degrees with Faradin's launch here.
Can you choose any launch angle?
Hover got quite a few nice attacks. They pulled out a brand new stadium.
He fucking split him in half. Yeah, Beyblade's alive and well. That's the point I'm making. that was the point I was making. It's got a pretty healthy scene. It seems fun, man. It actually seems pretty fun. Confused on how this works, wouldn't this all just be RNG since I would assume all builds have been min-maxed? Yeah, so after you're done with your builds, it does come down to a large chunk of RNG from what I understand, but you can do certain things to influence it and certain things change it based on like the stadium and stuff. So like launch angle, how we mentioned approaching 30 degrees, I imagine that plays a pretty big role. You need to choose like the optimized launch angle for your build. Like there's probably like some very small things in there that have a huge impact on it, but for the most part I think there's going to be a lot of RNG just by design. That would make the entry point to the pro scene pretty low. You should try and win a tournament and make a super serious documentary. I pitched that idea, not about Beyblade in particular, but just making documentaries on the really small tournaments and stuff as if they're a huge deal. Like what we did with League when we won the Demacia Cup. I really like doing that kind of stuff. Please play the Dragon Ball TCG. I was looking at that. Is this a fun card game? They have two different versions. They have Fusion World, and then they have just like the general one, and I couldn't quite figure out why. Because it's fundamentally the same game. It's just Fusion World is simplified. And when I was trying to look at gameplay, it's only this shit of people treating it like investments, which is so unbelievably cringe. So is the game itself actually fun? How is it fun when you can't buy them? I didn't know that they were hard to find. But I guess that about checks out, considering everything that comes up is only about like the financial investments of Dragon Ball cards. It's so gross. It's so gross. It's so gross. It's just, oh my god. Ugh. Everything is just investments with cards. Fuck me. I can't wait for it to crash. I just can't wait. It cannot come soon enough, bro. Holy. How long can this shit go on for? I have no idea. I don't know. Mostly get cards to play, but I did get an Alpha Soul Ring because it's cool as fuck. It is cool as fuck. And if you would even know how the game is played, you're already different than 99% of these vultures. What would you rather have first, the AI crash or TCG crash? Let's not get carried away. Obviously the AI crash. That's better for everybody. The TCG situation here is easily avoidable. It's just sad what's happened to it. But the AI crashing is great for all of us. See the AI photo Trump posted of him walking with an alien? I didn't know. That sounds so cool though. What the fuck? Oh, now that's hard. And that alien's fucking yoked though. Everything minus the peen? Holy. That's a fucking frame mog and a half, dude. Oh my. The chain is attached to his hip. Well, yeah, he's not handcuffed. He's goth, bro. He's not a prisoner here, he's an ally. Wallet chain. Oh, true, could have been a wallet chain. Kickstarter. I guarantee at least one person watching this just had a PTSD flashback. I just induced trauma with a single word. Kickstarter is a platform that's no stranger to scams. That goes together like peanut butter and jelly. That's not to say that all of them on Kickstarter are scams. In fact, some incredibly great projects have been the result of successful Kickstarter backing. But ask anyone out there that's ever put a few clams behind some projects, and I guarantee you they'll tell you some horror stories of how they've been burned. It is a platform that can send shivers down your spine for all the lost money because you bought into an idea and then it never came to fruition. There's no guarantee what you back on Kickstarter will ever even really exist, and there's never any real repercussions to the scammer should that unfold. God rest the soul of Michael Superbacker and the Air Umbrella. At least that story has a somewhat wholesome conclusion, but on the whole, Kickstarter is a platform where you get some good and you get some real bad. And now in the age of AI, Kickstarter has never been worse. It is in a brutal position for people to identify what's real and what's fake. I'm reading every day about more and more disgusting uses of AI. It is basically technology that is exclusively used to exploit people and mislead people. Quick side quest here before diving into the Kickstarter state and how awful it is thanks to AI. I read a wild story today about a DoorDash driver who was using AI-generated images to pretend as if he delivered the food to the customer. So I believe that he was using like Google Street View. So he brought up the address and brought up the Street View and would take the image of the person's door and then AI generate that door with their food there and then marking it as a completed delivery. So the scam is they AI generate the front door with their food there as if they had delivered it. They cash it in, basically, and they're able to do that instantly. Fucking nuts. I also was reading something about a construction company that was using AI-generated images to pretend like they had finished projects in order to secure more contracts. It's completely out of control. And in Kickstarter specifically, last night on stream, we did like a quick dive to see the most popular projects on the platform to see if they used AI. Spoiler alert, they all did. So it is extremely difficult to even know what's real and what's fake with what you're backing on Kickstarter now, it seems. It is so fucking absurd. I'm now curious if everyone is pitching Kickstarter products with AI videos to make it seem more professional. I actually haven't checked Kickstarter scams in a while. I bet that's a very common thing now, though. Let me see. I'm just gonna see what like the top funded projects are at the moment and see if there's any AI video for it. All categories. Popularity. So the most popular thing right now is called Pick Pack. Let's see.
What can I think?
We all have too many and choosing them is a nightmare.
This doesn't look like AI.
They're basically trapped on our phones.
But the song sounds like it's Suno generated.
Is there any better way?
Oh, wait. Is that an AI voiceover?
Is there any better way? Meet PickPack, an e-ink album that custom feeds your
That's definitely AI voice. So I'm pretty sure that was AI Suno music and an AI voiceover. At first I thought it was just a very unenthusiastic guy, but it's just an AI voiceover. This is literally the most popular project on Kickstarter right now. Just went to the #1 and it's instantly usage of AI in the pitch. So yeah, safe to say it looks like Kickstarter projects have pivoted to now using AI to make it seem more professional. If only the coolest cooler came out now. Oh my god, these fucking names, brother. These are blasts from the past. The coolest cooler. Oh my god. No more charming videos of the guy turning around saying, "Oh hi, didn't see you there." Yeah. Well, it's just the death of like everything authentic. I want here. Let's go to the second most popular and see if it's AI. Maybe this was just like a truly unlucky time to hop in. The second most popular project is called the World's First Desktop Aeroponic Plant Ecosystem.
This is iZesty, a desktop aeroponic plant.
Immediately AI voice. It's crazy. Oh my god. Is everything on Kickstarter all AI now? This is #3 most popular.
Hello everyone. This is your old friend, Titanier.
It's good to see you again, Titanier. It's excellent. It's been too long. It's always good to see an old friend, Titanier. Oh my god, it's despicable. What the fuck? Yeah, so Kickstarter looks like it's all AI now. Just checked Indiegogo, it's the same thing. Oh, I'm not surprised. Indiegogo was always even more scam-oriented than Kickstarter. But now, just for the sake of a little bit of fun, let me see. Let me sort by most popular there. I bet that one's ballistic. So it looks like the most popular right now on Indiegogo is the Foldio 4, the bigger, brighter, better foldable photo studio. Let's see.
Hey, Kickstarter, we're back. Since 2011,
Oh no, man. Everything is so cooked. And it's not even Kickstarter. Well, they probably have it on Kickstarter as well. They're probably double fisting on the crowdfunding. 400k raised, by the way. Yeah. I mean, it's never been easier to scam. AI has made scams easy, instant. Yeah. Not surprised. This just reminded me, have you seen the most recent Kickstarter scam game? It's called Puff Pals Island Skies and raised $2.5 million. The guy behind it basically took the money and went into hiding. You're telling me something called Puff Pals Island Skies raised $2.5 million? Even without knowing it's a scam, I'd hear that and would never even consider putting money into it. Let's see, Puff Pals Island Skies, huh? Wow. This looks even worse than I could have imagined. $2.56 million here. A wholesome life simulator game where you can collect, farm, customize, and explore new lands with cute and fluffy puff pals. And pre-order the game. Let's see the pitch. Excellent aspect ratio here. What the fuck is this? Hello? Pardon? Okay, we'll just go full screen. This take place in heaven, or what's up? Grow and customize your very own farm. No AI voiceover here. This must have predated the wave. Very cool. Not my kind of game. So what happened? You said the creator went into hiding. So he took the money and ran? See the comments. 9,000 comments. Requesting refund, requesting refund, requesting refund, requesting refund. Hey, got some bad news for you. Doesn't work on Kickstarter. There's no obligation, and no one's coming to help you. Learn from the air umbrella. Most recent update is May 20th from Fluffnest. Let's take a peek. The development of Island Skies has been incredibly challenging to say the least. For the past few years, we were under NDA with a third-party studio and couldn't discuss many of the things happening behind closed doors. However, now that other parties have made some of that information public, we can speak more openly about what's happened. After Kickstarter, Fluffnest entered into a milestone agreement with Roommate Studio to develop the features necessary to deliver early access based on the GDD we created for the campaign. Agreement was for $1.1 million over the course of 1 year. This will leave around $500,000 of wiggle room, approximately $1 million from Kickstarter. I don't give a fuck what happened. The problem with management, wasn't ready for early access or alpha. Alright, where things are now. As we approach finalizing the new agreement, it became clear Roommate's senior management does not have a clear understanding of the project's current state, how much work remains. Because of this, we can't trust that the issues we've already faced won't reoccur. We've informed Roommate we won't proceed unless their leadership presents a plan to directly address these issues and commits the necessary resources to Island Skies.
This Kickstarter might be the biggest scam ever, and their CEO is allegedly running from the law. See, a while back, this viral plushie company called Fluffnest announced that they were making a brand new live sim game called Puff Pals Island Skies, and they raised over $2.5 million out of their $75K goal, mostly by selling limited-time plushies that you could only get through the Kickstarter. And Puff Pals looked pretty legit, with trailers showing a lot of the core features already working, so naturally the community trusted the team. But what they didn't know is that by the time the first alpha playtest came out, Fluffnest had already burned through all the Kickstarter money, with huge chunks of it reportedly going to plushie production instead of the actual game. And when their plushie business
that always
collapsed in early
happens.
2025, well, everything spiraled from there, with hundreds of orders going missing without refunds, the Puff Pals trademark expiring, and even the game's website ended up getting shut down. Now, the CEO, named David's been hit with over $2 million in lawsuits from his former employees, the banks, and even the outside studio that they secretly hired to make the game. But while he's been allegedly dodging service and refusing to show up to court, the backers are left getting ghosted on social media.
Very cool, David. Very interesting. So he tried to outsource the game to another studio to make it. That still didn't work. Man, I tell ya. If you can't trust Fluffnest, who can you trust? Selling plushies of your game before the game even releases is wacky. Well, this is the first I'm learning of this whole company and scam. But based on that short, it looks like the plushies existed first, and in order to drive interest and money to the Kickstarter campaign, they were offering the limited plushies. So it was for their already established plushie business, which ate shit earlier this year and shut down. Seemed like they were a legit business before it went tits up making this game. Maybe. Or maybe this was always the plan, David's nefarious scheme.
What's up, everybody? It's Critical. I'm playing Hellboy for the PlayStation 1. Let's do this shit. Let's start a new game. Here we go. Rock and roll. It seems the sound is fucked up. Sounds like they're talking through a waterfall. Yeah, I have no idea what this gentleman is saying right now. Well, perhaps he's not saying anything. It looks like he's eating a grapefruit. That is astonishing. What the fuck are those creatures? What are these? These aren't humans. These look like the abominations you can make with the Oblivion character creator. Now that is what I call disturbing. Look at his ears. They're not really ears. They're spoons. Perhaps even toilet seats. Who is this gentleman? And what is he doing in a place like that? This must be the park ranger. Just cruising around. I'm assuming this is a cherry spying on him. Little first-person cherry perspective. Here lies the last human. The earth is now inhabited by soulless, disgusting clones. What happened? What's going on? I really hope nothing spooky pops out. Jinkies, I'm on the edge of my seat here. Why is he carrying around a squirt gun? This cherry is ruthless. It knows exactly where he is. It's probably relaying that information to the Apple Empire. This dude's being hunted by all of the red foods in the world. What happened? Oh, fuck! Zool, the gatekeeper, took him down. Now that is how you make an introduction to a game. The Last of Us could learn a thing or two from Hellboy. Asylum Seekers, I forgot the name, I got lost in the ambiance of the game. Episode 1. The Dripping Shit Mystery. Let's begin. Alright. Here we go. Hellboy's head looks like a misplaced billiard ball.
It's been 72 hours since Peter disappeared.
He's probably just taking a shit, don't worry about him.
I just hope we can find him in one piece.
I'm sure you'll find him in one piece, but his shit will be in many different pieces. Assuming it's the shit that takes approximately 72 hours to fully evacuate from the anus.
Well, are you going to join me?
I would love to join you for a round of squeeze your titties.
Ed, I'm gonna take a look around here.
The adventure begins, and I am thrilled. I'm just gonna try and get a hang of the controls here real quick. Alright, I'm just chasing my tail now. Yeah, the controls are, I'm not gonna put a raincoat on the goat. The controls are pretty abysmal. I know that's a very quick assessment, but, oh, there's Punch. But I just accidentally followed my ass cheeks around in a circle, just trying to move in a direction. At least the stair climbing is pretty smooth. Oh, what do we have here? A little blockbuster cutscene here? Look out behind you, Hellboy, it's some spilled pudding. What do you know, it's some type of ghoul. Come here, I'll take you down, oh yeah. Damn it. Come here. I've got the meanest left hook in the business. Oh yeah, take this. You cannot hang with the galactic hook of hurting. Ooh, a little fucking right-hand haymaker. Oh shit, they're teaming up on me. Make a quick escape, Hellboy. Damn, he's fast. I'm actually gonna fight him, though. Come here. I'll take you both on. You are hereby condemned to a life of death. Oh, yeah. Look at this combo. Left hook, left hook, left hook, left hook. Right. Concrete fist slap. You two just cannot handle this. It is the perfect fighting combo. Pardon me, gentlemen, I think I stepped on a piece of gum. False alarm. Back to kicking your ass. And back to you two. Assing your kick. This is just too easy. They just cannot handle it. If they were gonna make me a coffee mug, there wouldn't be a handle on it. Now there's one down. One more to go. And you know where you're going? On my left hook. This is just too easy. Oh shit. He dodged one. Oh yeah, he's blocking a little bit. Not blocking enough though. You can't block everything here. The left hook is just too fast, too powerful, too perfect. There we go. I'm the ultimate boxer. That's right, you fall back down into the ground. What's this?
Zombies. Not good.
Alright.
I should catch up with Sarah.
We should catch up with Sarah, but we're in no rush. Because I do not know what the button for sprinting is, so Sarah will have to wait.
I see you found Peter.
Mission completed then. Nice work, Sarah.
That's a lot of blood.
Where? What are you talking about?
Too much blood. What could have happened to him?
What the fuck are you two talking about? He looks fine. He's posing for a picture right now.
I'm not sure I want to know.
I don't know what the fuck these two are shitting their shit about here.
This door looks like it's been opened recently.
How does that door look like it's been opened recently, Detective? Looks like just a closed door to me. There's no signs to indicate it's been opened recently. Inspector Hellboy, reporting for pissing. What do we have here? What are we doing here? Is that Pidgeotto? Sounded like someone fired a missile. And the only missile here is my left hook. Come here, bitch. Yeah, take that. Damn it. Let me introduce you to a friend of mine. My left fist. Damn it. And his cousin, the right concrete fist. There is no fisting more fucked than your shit. This bird's putting up a little bit of a fight. But it does not matter because it was not ready for the left hook nor the right fist. If it was ready, it would have brought some anti-fisting materials. Not wings. Does this bitch think it can fly away from my attacks? Must be a lunatic. The best offense is a better fist. Oh, there we go, the KO. You just can't handle the combo.
Not enough? I guess so.
I'm gonna use its corpse as a hockey puck. Now get out of my way, fence, damn it.
What happened in there?
I damn near caught a Pokemon with my fist, that's what happened.
Giant bird women. I hate them.
The cat's out of the bag. Hellboy does not like giant bird women. And Sarah happens to resemble a giant bird woman. Take this. Yeah. How do you like this? Got a little something on your chest. It's my fist. Oh no, Sarah.
Sarah! Sarah! Sarah, I'm coming to get you.
Looks like he's firing a laser from his eye. They shouldn't have made the text the same color as his skin. I'm guessing that dog creature abducted Sarah. But Sarah shouldn't worry for even a second, because Hellboy will certainly save her. That is absolutely exciting. Alright, well I'm done playing this. Well, that's the end of this video. Remember to rate the video, comment the video, and subscribe if you want to see videos similar to this one. See ya.
People keep saying The Boys has been filler, and that's how you know people are fucking dumb. There is nothing that's been filler about the episodes. They're just giving you more information on some of the characters in the show that's not filler. And every single episode progresses the overall plot. Like, all of it moves forward. I won't get into spoilers, but one of the bigger villain characters just died in the last episode. There's nothing filler about it. It is actual just brain rot attention spans right now that can't stand actually watching something longer than 60 seconds. Or anything somewhat slow to build up to something. Boy's been in a downward spiral. That's a separate complaint. I think this season's been its worst so far. That I agree with. But the episodes being filler, I couldn't disagree more with. They are not filler. By no stretch of the imagination are the episodes filler. It's just a bad season. Well, I wouldn't even say bad. It's just not a very good season. Agreed, it's not a well-written season. They could have done so much more. We were talking about this, like a week ago? I think The Boys was at its best when it was genuinely just normal, average Joes going up against the Soups. Then it felt like an actual triumph every time they were able to pull off a big job, or even, in the very rare instances, kill a Soup, get the better of them. Now, everyone's a Soup. Everyone gets blown up all the time, and they always get away by hair on their chinny chin chin. It's just not as good. It's really just not as good. It's lost the magic of what made it so interesting. But I don't think it's bad either. Like, I don't hate it. It's just not nearly as good as it was. Kimiko deserves better. Oh, that's another one of my big complaints about this season. They have... I was going to say ruined, but maybe that's too harsh. They have really done a number on Kimiko's character. Like I said, having her speak, I think, was a natural progression to the character. They built up to it for multiple seasons and did a good job slowly, gradually getting there. But now they have her speak and all she does is talk about porn and use TikTok Zoomer words and shit. It's so upsetting. And the characters I think they did really well with are A-Train and Firecracker. I completely agree. I think they did a great job with both of those characters. And Homelander. I I don't know if it's a hot take or not. I don't really know, but I think they've still done a really good job with Homelander. They built up to his current motive, I think, pretty seamlessly. Just constantly chipping away at it. I do think they kind of flipped the switch too quickly, though, at the end, just to get over the line. But overall, I think they did a good job with Homelander's character as well. Homelander feels a lot more stupid now. Well, to be fair, every character has been a lot more stupid since season 1. Homelander used to be a lot more crafty and actually have good plans and stuff, but it hasn't been that way in a while. I wouldn't even say that's like a season 5 thing. They actually nerfed the intelligence of every character. This whole season has been everyone telling Homelander he's pathetic. That shit goes hard, though. I think every time they do that, it is actually pretty solid. Like, it's not... Like, I don't think that's an issue. Like, I think they've done that fine. The comics were way more edgy, worse plot, overly grotesque. Well, the comics suck, man. I tried to give the comics a shot. I did not like them. They are... I think the comics are trash. But one thing the comics did do well is some of the dialogue. Some of the dialogue with, like Stan in particular, I think they've done a great job with in the comics. And even in the show, I'm pretty sure they translated a lot of his dialogue, like, almost verbatim as it was in the comics. The comics get fucking weird. Well, that was the whole point of them. Yeah. Don't worry, we'll have plenty to watch with the spin-offs. It's gross, man. Everything gets 1,000 spin-offs now. Can't wait for the new Stranger Things, huh? And then we got some more boys spin-offs. Bot Rising, anyone? The new Stranger Things already came out. What? It came out last week. The animated show. Did nobody watch it? Because I haven't heard a peep about it. I had no clue. What's the name of it? Tales of 86. Nobody is talking about this. I had to, like, specifically look for people talking about it. Here's the first thing that comes up. 3 out of 10. Stranger Things Tales from 85, or 85, not 86. A depressing, cynical retread of the original, it is a transparent attempt to preserve Stranger Things in pixels rather than amber, allowing Netflix to keep capitalizing on the phenomenon long after its original faces have moved on to other projects. Is this actually just doing the show 1-to-1 in animated form now? It's not its own thing? It's a prequel. Oh, okay. I was gonna say... There's a theory it uses scenes from the cancelled Stranger Things Telltale game. That's a cool theory. What IP has had the most spin-offs? Probably Final Fantasy, would be my guess. Maybe Star Wars, actually. Star Wars might beat it. Which IP has the worst spin-offs? Star Wars. Comfortably, I'd say. Have you heard Black Clover ended? I did! People actually like the ending, which is pretty rare. That's exciting. I'm hoping they'll get it all animated pretty soon. That scare you? Well, you scare me with your lack of hygiene. It's time to fix that. Get some Cheeky soap. Use Cheeky.com. We've made the perfect soap. You should not use anything that's not Cheeky. I'm looking out for you. You see the clip of Wubby hurting his neck really badly doing the 6-7 challenge? Really badly? I fucking doubt it. Did I miss it?
6 7s at once. I begged my chat to not do it. What I didn't realize while doing it, every muscle began to tense and contract. See, right now, I don't realize it. It's like about to have that spasm that's gonna f everything up. This is my Interstellar moment. No! I shouldn't yell, but no! Don't let him 6-7! Okay, and then I think this is where I come back and go, wait a minute, I think my neck is f***ed up.
He's wearing the same shirt. Oh no, he's not wearing the same shirt. It looked like the same shirt. I was like, holy shit, this guy just didn't change his shirt for fucking 48 hours.
Actually, I think I hurt my neck. Oh my god, I wish I could go back in time.
It doesn't really seem like a big injury. I think it's just he was tensed up and then moved a little too much. I don't even think it's a pulled muscle. I think it's just sore. He's fine. He got his big boy pants on. He was wearing a heating pad around his neck the past couple of streams. Did he really? We saw some dude traded in 96 PSA graded Pokemon cards at GameStop and only got 6K in store credit. I'm surprised he got that much. But no, I didn't see that. You've got to be the biggest fucking fake fan to be trading in your PSA slabs to GameStop. What a tourist. You gotta be real dumb to be doing that. And you also gotta be real dumb to be grading with PSA. I hate PSA, man. I do not understand why anyone still uses them. They destroyed my $2,000 Pikachu. GameStop did or PSA? Probably PSA. They've been making a habit out of doing that. Yeah, PSA. Sounds right. Is Tag the go-to now? I think Tag's got its own set of problems, with consistency in particular. But they're the only ones that I would ever actually consider using. Because you take the human element out, where you have someone who's just got a bad day, or you have someone that's motivated by ulterior motives, such as keeping the population low on 10s, or trying to undergrade in order to potentially upgrade later so that way they can make more on the back end. You take that element out, and you take the guesswork out on why things get graded the way they do. I think Tag's got the best idea. Because they tell you why it got the grade it got. It has a score. It shows you everything on the measurements, any dings, that kind of thing. They give you the scans. So you don't have to just guess. It's not up for just interpretation. That is the way grading should be. It's closest it can get to objective is through that service. Compared to the rest right now, that is. Because otherwise you're just relying on just some random fucking guy whose mood is entirely... Your grade is based entirely on that guy's mood. And you never know why your card gets the grade that it does. They don't tell you. And I also will say one other thing. I saw this the other night. Since Tag's slabs are transparent, you actually get some really cool flexibility, so check this out. Apparently what a lot of Tag graders are doing is they're doing something called extended art on their slabs for like their favorite pulls. And it looks really, really good. So I do think Tag has the best slabs in the game. They're apparently very fragile, but the transparency looks nice. You get to do a lot more with it. It looks fucking cool. So out of all the grading companies so far, Tag's the only one that I'm even somewhat positive on. But even they have their own host of problems. Ace been doing that for some time, I thought. The fuck is Ace? It looks like with Ace, they do special art on the this part. The actual cert part. But not the whole slab. I may not be tall, but I have played every Resident Evil game. Well, mostly. I've played pretty much every unique Resident Evil game. I played them all back to back over the course of like a month and a half for the sake of tier listing every Resident Evil game in the franchise, getting prepared for Resident Evil Requiem, which I just now finished. So naturally the question on everyone's mind, Charles, how big can you smile? And now with that question answered, next, you're probably wondering, was the game good? Yes. Yes, it was. And after having played through nearly every Resident Evil game ever made, I feel like I can confidently say I know ball. I feel like I know Resident Evil like Elon Musk knows ketamine. So when I say what I'm about to say here, just know, this means something, man. I think Resident Evil Requiem is a top 5 Resident Evil game. I'm saying it. I'm putting it right there. I'm putting it out there in the open. You can't take it back. Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. It is an incredible game, actually. And what I find extremely impressive is that this franchise has been around for nearly 3 decades, and yet they are still able to make new games in this franchise that feel fresh and fun. Like, you would expect a franchise that has this many games, like 30-something unique games and like 100-something like ports and fucking Zeebo shit and whatever else they have for Resident Evil, like Java games and all that. You would expect by now it to be beyond milked dry. Just no meat left on the bones, them titties, them melons, vanquished, devoid of substance. Yet somehow with Resident Evil, they are still producing very high quality games. They had a very bumpy road there for a little while, like a rough patch around Resident Evil 6. Good heavens, trust me, I know, they really stunk it up there for a while. But once RE7 rolled around, that was literally the fucking cure to the T-virus that was the Resident Evil 6 fucking plague that basically ruined the franchise there for a little while. 7 pioneered a new breath of life into this franchise, which was the first-person horror intense stakes. And then they've built upon it. And Resident Evil Requiem marries that gameplay with the iconic timeless classic gameplay of the action-oriented Resident Evil 4 formula. It takes both of these elements, builds upon them, and makes something very special here with Requiem. So you play as two characters, Grace Ashcroft, who actually is the daughter of a character from Resident Evil Outbreak, which is super hype, because Outbreak, I think, was a very innovative title for its time that is still very fun to play, even though it's quite janky. And her gameplay is Resident Evil 7 style. It's very horror-focused, it's slower paced, you're not juiced to the gills with ammo, you have to use stealth, you have to struggle, it's very intense. Then you also play as Leon in Requiem, and it's just like in RE4 where it is cheesy, over-the-top action. And these two flow back and forth. And for some people it won't like flow seamlessly because you do go from like survival horror over here to action horror over here, like right back to back. Because you flip-flop between the two of them. So for some people that might be jarring and not super smooth and feel like tonal whiplash, but for me, I loved it. Because I love Resident Evil 7 and I love Resident Evil 4. 7 is actually my second favorite Resident Evil game. Resident Evil 4 OG is my third favorite game. My first favorite is OG Resident Evil 3. There's not a whole lot of OG Resident Evil 3 DNA in here, outside of a little something at the end of the game. I won't spoil it. But anyway, I really think the game is great. I think the story is super strong too. I've seen some people criticize the writing, and I do get it in certain instances. You could say like, writing got a little wacky here and there, but I actually think it's really strong. And it's one of those things that didn't just rely on nostalgia baiting, like, here comes beloved character from the franchise riding in on a fucking unicorn to save the day out of nowhere. And then, do you remember this? Well, good news, it's back. And do you remember that? Yeah, it's back too. But what about this? Do you remember this from old Resident Evil? Also back. And just like shoehorning all these cameos in there for the sake of fan service. It doesn't do that. It stands on its own two legs. And yes, there are some returning characters and some things from previous Resident Evil games in here, but they flow really well into the story that they create. The story revolves around Grace. She is investigating a I'm actually avoiding spoilers for this review, which is something I don't do often, but I really, really enjoyed Requiem, and I want to show it some respect here without just spoiling things, and also anyone that's watching this that wants to know my thoughts on it without like having everything ruined for them. This is me avoiding spoilers. It follows Grace after an investigation, gets all cattywampus, and she runs into a real oddball named Victor Gideon. Victor Gideon kidnaps her, Leon gets brought into the fold, and he finds himself needing to make a journey all the way back to Raccoon City, where it all began for Leon Kennedy. And also, why are they so interested in Grace? Why did she get kidnapped? What the fuck is going on? That's the broad strokes of it. Now, Grace is a new character, and she's actually a really good character, I'm happy to say. Also, huge shout out to her voice actress. The voice actress that played Grace did an unbelievable job. The way she was able to convey terror and panic in her performance for this character was extremely realistic, and it really helped elevate things. So even though I will admit there were times where the writing got a little off the mark and felt a bit off, her performance was still able to sell it to the point where it wasn't like jarring and make you go, ooh, yuck, that was trash. It's just more like, that felt a little weird, but, the performance helped salvage some of those moments. And that's across the board. Pretty much everyone gives a really good performance in this game. And I think that really helps in that regard. But like I said, I do think the writing is solid. I think they do a good job with Grace. I think she is a well-written character. I think some people might be annoyed by her because she has like anxiety. So maybe some people might find her to be like maybe a little too timid or, not confident enough for a Resident Evil game where you follow characters like fucking Leon Kennedy, who's a superhuman, hanging hog, blowing zombies' heads off, fucking ripping their nipples off and beating them to death with them. Like, she is very different as a protagonist compared to them, but she's not like the full protagonist because, like I said, you split evenly with Leon. It is like a very even split with Grace gameplay and Leon gameplay. It's very nice. You feel like you get a ton of both. But anyway, what I'm saying is I think Grace is a good character. They do a good job with her. Now let's talk about the gameplay. Pretty much exactly what you're expecting if you played Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Resident Evil 2 Remake. You get that kind of gameplay. You get all of that in one package here. So when you're playing Grace, you're going to be using stealth. You're going to be needing to be more mindful of what encounters you take, going loud, using your ammo, versus which ones you use a little stealth kill with, which aren't free, by the way. You can't just stealth kill things for free as Grace. You have to make something, which is a little vial that you stab into them and they blow up like you just planted dynamite in their body. So those cost resources. And the way that Grace crafts, I thought was very creative. You get a blood collector, you collect blood from killed enemies, or even sometimes like blood from enemies that had already previously been killed, or even buckets of blood in the world. And you will fill up that blood holder, that apparatus, and then you will combine that with, an herb if you want to make a med injector for heals, or you'll combine it with, some scrap if you want to make ammo for your handgun, or if you want to make that, one-time use insta-kill stealth jab. So her gameplay is very similar to Resident Evil 7's gameplay, but you have even less tools at your disposal to fight the zombies with. You only have 2 guns. You have a pistol, and then you have Requiem, the big iron, the fucking big tuna. Outside of that, that's it. That's all you have to use to beat the enemies around you, which is why you need to be a little smarter about it and also be slower about it. Now, Leon's gameplay is exactly what you're expecting it to be if you've played Resident Evil 4. It's bombastic, it's over the top, it's high octane, you're killing hundreds of zombies, and there's a really cool change they made to how you upgrade your weapons with Leon. So this time around, they reward you for being aggressive. So you get a tracker that when you kill a zombie gives you credits on your tracker that you then spend to get ammo or upgrades for your weapons, that kind of thing. So it incentivizes you to fucking annihilate everything that's around you. Leave no survivors. So, which is a really fun thing to do. It gives you plenty of resources to do it as well. It gives you a lot of fun guns to play with, even though I do think the guns are a little underwhelming. Like, they don't have the same kind of character that I feel they used to have. Like, I remember playing through Resident Evil 4 OG, you'd have chat be like, I'm fucking team Red 9. No, Red 9's trash. And you'd actually have like a debate about what guns are the most fun to use. Here, every gun feels just very generic, very samey. Like, they don't have like a unique identity to them or anything this time around. I don't think there's going to be like really passionate, fucking W870 shotgun fans or something, right? I could be wrong, but for me, it felt like the guns were just very standard. I guess I would have liked to see a little bit more there, but it's not the biggest deal in the world because they are still fun to use and you get plenty of opportunities to use them and kill zombies. His gameplay, I think, is great, and I really like that new system they did with tracking kills and rewarding you for killing things. Like previously in Resident Evil games, the optimal strategy sometimes would boil down to kneecapping, kicking, and then running by to conserve ammo. Here, it's like, you can do that, you can be a pussy if you want, or you can kill all these zombies and get yourself a lot of money and basically max out your weapons really easily. Which I think is very cool. I think it's very fun. Now, something else that's been kind of core to the Resident Evil identity is puzzles. Resident Evil games have always had a lot of puzzles. There's not usually like a ton of brain busters or anything like that, but there are puzzles in there. Resident Evil Requiem doesn't really have that. It's much more in line with like your standard scavenger hunt style game where go over here, grab this to take back to something you passed at the very beginning of the level to open that door so you can go in there, grab that and put it over there. Which again is very Resident Evil. That's in every RE game ever made. But there's never really like any puzzles to this anymore now in Requiem. There's only like 3 off the top of my head I can think of that are even remotely puzzles, but the solution is in a picture that's in the same room, so you just look at the picture and you see it. I guess it's not the biggest deal in the world, and maybe there's some people that even view that as a positive thing because it keeps the pacing like fucking cutthroat, like you're constantly moving and you never stop to have to solve a puzzle. But I don't know, I felt like it was kind of sad to not have to like solve puzzles to accomplish things. It's just literally going and fucking fetch questing shit and bringing it back and forth. But not the biggest deal in the world, but it is something that I think people will notice is absent. Another thing that I have like a small complaint on is there are a couple sections I think drag. The most notable one is a flashback sequence where you're playing as a child who's running and hiding from a lot of bad stuff that's going on around them. And it's like a cool sequence when it starts, but it goes on for quite a while. And there are times where you literally hide in one spot for like 2 straight minutes of nothing. So it feels like really slow, like unnecessarily long and drawn out. And there's a couple of moments like that, like a couple of places you go that feel like, okay, we've kind of been here long enough. Do I really need to get this many things in order to progress, or wait this long to progress? It does feel like it does have moments that are there to pad out time. And it's not that long of a game. And I know this has actually been a complaint from quite a few people because the price tag is $70. It's an expensive game. It has the big AAA price tag on it, and it's roughly like 12 hours long. It took me about 12 hours. Total like active playtime was 8 hours and something minutes. I played through on just standard modern, so it was pretty quick. I would also say this is the easiest Resident Evil game I've ever played. But again, it's about 12 hours long, and that was with me exploring a lot. I didn't just beeline everything. I read every fucking note. I found every single safe and opened every single one, even got the achievement for it. I went out of my way to find pretty much every charm and every bobblehead, but I guess I missed a couple bobbleheads somewhere. I don't know where. I spent a lot of time exploring because I got really engrossed in the game, which speaks volumes to just how much it was able to draw me in. But it is about 12 hours for $70, and a lot of people say that that's way too short to justify that purchase. And I can understand that because $70 is expensive. That's a very expensive game. But I think this is 12 very, very solid hours. This does not have anything that, any huge blemishes. Like, it doesn't fall off a cliff anywhere along the way. Like, notably with Resident Evil 7, the whole boat section everyone hates, myself included. That section is by far the weakest, unfortunately. But, like, it doesn't have anything like that. This is 12 extremely solid, extremely fun hours. So for me, the $70 felt worth it. That felt fine to me. But for someone else, maybe 12 hours just really isn't enough. The replayability on this doesn't seem to be super huge. It doesn't seem like there's a ton of replayability outside of going back and doing like Insanity. So I don't know how many hours you can squeeze out of it for $70, but I personally feel like it was 12 extremely strong hours. It was a fucking heater from start to finish. So I thought it was a fine price tag for the experience I got. And now speaking of the experience I got, apparently I got something nobody else in the world did. For some reason, I had a very weird bug where occasionally the game would stutter during a cutscene and then the audio would desync. So the cutscene would stutter and then it would play, but the audio would lag like 2 or 3 seconds behind. So you would be seeing the cutscene play out completely silent until the audio caught up to it. So everything was desynced from time to time. And the only way I could fix that was by restarting the game. And even when I like updated drivers, restarted my computer and everything in between streams, it still persisted, but apparently it's a bug that didn't happen to anybody else, and I can't even find anyone talking about that bug. So it seems like something that only happened to me for some reason. I don't really get why. So I guess I can't hold it against the game as like a bug that's native to it unless someone else out there is reporting it happening to them. So I can only speak to my experience. It was extremely annoying. That shit like would ruin cutscenes. It happened to me in the final cutscene, and I literally just restarted it, redid the boss fight, and just took it from the top because I wasn't going to let it ruin the finale. It was a very annoying bug. I don't understand why it was happening, but I couldn't fix it outside of just restarting the game. Though I don't think it is a bug you'll probably experience if you try the game. It is something I wanted to make a mention of because that is by far the biggest headache I had when playing the game, and it looks like it might have somehow been my fault. There is also one other complaint I have, but it's a big spoiler. This is your big spoiler warning. Big spoiler warning. Alright, now, this is one of the things I would talk about when it would come to being like writing decisions that I think were a little whack. There is a very cool new character they introduce in here named Zeno, and he is a Wesker clone. And he is super fucking badass. He is positioned for half the game as like the big bad, like this guy is serious business. And when you get to the end of the game, it's looking like you're about to have a huge fight with Zeno, and then he just gets one-tapped by Victor. Like just insta-killed by Victor. You don't fight Zeno. He just instantly gets his cheeks clapped. you can't fight Xeno. He's a fraud. He's literally a fraud. And it was so deflating because I was really looking forward to seeing more of Xeno and actually getting to fight with him. But instead, he just gets bent over. It was just disappointing. It didn't even feel like a good subversion of your expectations or like a, ha, gotcha, he wasn't actually the big bad, it was this guy the whole time. It didn't even feel like that. It just felt like, that was kind of weak. Why would you do that? You've really hyped him up. You've shown some of his powers. It was looking like a really cool sequence that we just saw and what we were expecting to get, and now it's just not there. It just felt underwhelming to have him killed off like that. That really let me down, actually. And that's just one of a couple writing decisions that I do think were a little odd as like a path that they chose to go. Not the biggest deal in the world, because overall I do still think the writing was extremely strong. And like I said, I genuinely believe this is a top 5 Resident Evil game. So I am a huge fan of Resident Evil Requiem. I think it is an incredible game. And yeah, that's really about it. See ya.